you're the fan through the mic.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave, for being on the show. We really appreciate this.
No,
I'm really excited to be here after all this whole trip, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I stumbled across your work, gosh, years ago, but I was really interested in the work that you've done with urine therapy, and I know that you've done some interviews on urine therapy. I'm curious.
When he starts the live, when you do the live
subject.
LinkedIn,
Most people are
back
averse
in
to it.
here, yeah?
Have you been doing any urine therapy on this trip yourself?
Yeah, I do it every day.
In the
I've been doing it every day, pretty much every day for the last 6 years.
And I saw that you fasted on your own urine for some time. How long did you fast for?
I did a 30-day urine fast, which, well, no food or water. It was just urine. I tried looping everything that I produced, but I ended up, I was going like every 15 minutes. So I had to cut back a bit. But yeah, it was just urine.
So they say that as you continue to cycle the urine through your body, you pee more often, right?
You do, and it gets clearer and clearer.
Okay.
It does change. It's weird because your body's adjusting all the time, so it kind of changes its taste.
Okay, then greetings to ones and ones out there. First, I want to big up to Raga for a fantastic show. Big up yourself every single time. Big up all the DJs on Bless Radio. So we're going to go straight to the cheers. We're on a little brief recording by the great man Dave Murphy. And again, welcome to the Jam Master Show. And we're here to give the truth, nothing but the truth, nothing but the truth and the absolute truth. Yeah, let me say that again. Nothing but the truth, but the absolute truth. It's from the Jam Master Show. So what's going to take place in about 3 minutes? I'm expecting a call from Sister Sharon, talking about the mindset. Looking at your goals, we're looking to achieve. You know, look at your limited beliefs, and she'll be sharing some information with us. And later on, we're expecting a call from the Miracle Man. I don't know what time, it'll be sometime later on. Yeah. And you know, so we'll be jamming and bouncing around the place and reason. See? So again, you're locked into the big one, the Jam Master Show. See? So I'm going to play some more recording of Dave Murphy.
Like 50 yards, and I have to take half an hour to, to rest and, recover from it.
Yeah.
But I ran for half a mile, and I got to the end, I was like, I can still breathe, what's going on? And my lungs had come back.
And how long had you been fasting on urine when you did the run?
This was only 4 days into the fast.
Dude, so what caused you to do that? I mean, it's one thing to do, a lot of people do intermittent fasting. Now, I do that every day. A lot of people do 1 day fast or 3 day fast, and they're doing green juice fasts, people do that. But what made you, fasting alone is something where it's like people look at you strange, right? But to do fasting on the urine, you didn't ease into this thing. It's kind of bizarre, right?
Yeah, well, I've been doing urine therapy for a year at that point.
Okay.
So I was seeing the benefits. I was feeling great, I had more energy, and things were starting to get better. My hair started to grow back and things. It's quite amazing. And I listened to somebody talking about the urine fast, as something to heal yourself with.
Right.
Now I got the impression that this person had already done the urine fast himself, but it turns out he hadn't. And when I met him, he said, oh, well done for doing the urine fast. I don't know anybody who's done it who wasn't dying.
Yeah.
So,
what a crazy thing.
Yeah.
So, you did it for 30 days, and so you must have did you drink other liquids? Like, what liquids did you drink?
Well, at the beginning, I was drinking, because I was still in a squeamish type phase, I was drinking like a mouthful of distilled water or orange juice. Because when you start the fast, your urine is very strong.
Okay.
And cloudy and stuff.
Right.
So I was just kind of rinsing my mouth.
Yeah, but I think the live link phone on. Did you get it?
Distilled water.
Okay.
But that only lasted for
the phone on.
A week or so. And then
the one I texted you, did you get the text from?
Other than urine.
Oh my God. That's
Okay,
crazy.
no
See,
problem.
I do it every morning, but I do like a
No problem.
homeopathic kind of thing, like, because I'm still like, I don't know what it is. I just don't. I'm still not scared of it, but I just, I'll do like a teaspoon of it in the morning, and I'll mix it with water, and I'll just chase it down, and and I've been doing that for a few years, but I've never thought to do a full fast. But I mean, I imagine that if your body is healing on a fast itself, then if you're going to be on urine, I can't imagine that your body would be just the healing process would be multiplied like incredible.
As I said, 4 days into the fast, I saw.
Woman here,
I also
what's
had
that
nerve
first
damage
thing?
inside my foot,
Still, you,
and
still,
pain
hang
at
on,
the
just
back of
like.
my leg from an Achilles tendon operation.
Okay.
I came in when it's raining.
Greetings. Greetings. Can you hear me? Okay, then we have to try.
And you do orange thing.
Okay, then we're trying to connect Sister Sharon, but we're not getting through at the moment. So, Sharon, to bear with us a second.
All the lines on my face started to smooth over.
And how long ago did you do the fast? This 30-day
Oh,
fast?
this was back in 2012.
2012, so sometime. So have you done one since then? Another one?
Not a urine fast, but I did a 60-day breatharian experiment.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too, because you talked about that on your YouTube channel. If you guys want to check out Dave's YouTube channel, it's D Murphy 25.
Yeah, that's one.
Okay.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
How are you?
Oh, fantastic. We did lose you for a bit. Now we've got you live now. Okay. As I said earlier on, we do have Sister Sharon on the line with us, and she's a life coach. Just a lot of work around personal development, and look at your mindset, look at your beliefs, and she is one of the greatest well-known life coach in the probably in the UK, and we're lucky to have her among us to share her expertise with us. But before we go any further, my sister, first we have to welcome you on the call. But it'd be wise just to give us some background about yourself, why you're on the journey on the life coach.
Yes. Well, may I say first, thank you for that wonderful introduction. And it's Sharon, actually, just to let you know, it's Sharon.
Sharon,
Yeah.
I'll call you Sharon.
I know. Don't worry, I get that all the time.
Sharon.
Okay.
Okay.
Dougie, I would just like to, yes, as you said, give you a bit of background information and for the audience as well. Now, I'm a mindset and wellness coach. And my why, I'm going to share with you my why. Why I actually became, because that is what people ask me a lot. Why did you become a mindset and wellness coach? And three things impacted on my life. Three things were the turning point, and I will share it with you and the audience just now, just a brief outline. Okay, so why did I become a mindset coach? In 2010, my son became ill, and I didn't want to go down the pharmaceutical route any longer because it wasn't working.
Right.
And there's something called the power of prayer, and I was actually praying for someone who was working in natural healing. I wanted to meet someone in natural healing. I didn't know how I was going to meet that person. One day I was at home, and the radio was playing in the background, and I heard somebody talking passionately about health and healing, and I needed to meet that person who just resonated with me. The next day, I was able to get his phone number and met with him, and he helped me with my son. And his name was Michael Reed, and I think you just interviewed him last week.
Oh, God, Michael Reed. Okay,
He's
yeah.
the founder of the Wellness Academy, which I'm part of. So I met Michael, and that's when my awakening journey began, and he inspired me to become a complementary therapist back in 2010. And I learned a lot from Michael, a lot. As I said, he imparted so much knowledge to me, and I started my journey, and he went off to do his journey as well, and I kind of lost contact with him for about a year. In 2000, the second turning point in my life, in 2013, and 13, my father became ill. He was diagnosed with cancer.
Mm.
That devastated my family when he died. So I was very close to my father.
Mm.
My husband came over to support me. He was my rock, and I got through that period of time. In 2016, we decided to get married, and I was starting a new life in America. As you can imagine, I was excited, and I sold everything. I left my job, and I was due to move in the summer of 2015. 3 things delayed me, and I ended up booking my flight in October.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got a phone call the week that I was due to leave
Yeah.
from my husband's daughter
Yeah.
that he had a heart attack.
Who had a heart attack?
My husband,
Your husband?
yes, right? He had a heart attack, and I was flying out the next day.
So where was your husband? Your husband was in America?
No. As I said before, I sold everything, and I was due to leave in summer, and I ended up booking my flight in October. And the week that I was due to fly out, I
Yeah.
got a phone call the day before
Mm.
saying that he was in hospital. He was in a coma. He had a heart attack. I went
Okay.
out there, right? I was married less than a year. I went out there and I stayed with him. And in January 2016, he died.
Where was your husband? Your husband was in America
My
though.
husband's in America.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was in America. Yeah. Yeah.
I was moving to the States.
Yeah.
So as I
To
said,
live with him,
the
yeah.
background of
Yeah.
3 things that happened to me that
Mm-mm.
led me to do what I did.
Well,
I
that's
didn't want to
heavy.
stay in America. I
Mm.
didn't want to stay in America, so I came back and I went through what I call the dark night of the soul. I went through massive deep depression.
Mm.
I suffered anxiety. I basically lost myself, okay? One day I got a phone call, and it was Michael.
Mm.
And he rang me and he said, I heard what, because we'd lost contact for a year. He said, I heard what happened to you. And he said to me, he said, Sharon, I'm going to help you. You're going to get through this. And I didn't know what it meant by that. Now, I share my story with people because I want people to know that no matter what life throws at you, no matter what rocks come at you, what challenge you, you can get through it. If I can get through it, so can you. And I went through a transformation, and I showed people the tools and the techniques and the strategies of what I used to turn my life around, to change my mindset.
Mm.
That's my background.
Mm. So you went through a serious challenge, man.
Yes.
You went through some stuff. Some
When you
stuff.
go through a series of deaths like that, consecutively in a short period of time, part of me died because that's what I felt like I was dying.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you go through a rebirth. And I literally went through that process. And I believe that everything happens in our lives for a reason.
For a
Nothing
reason,
is a
yeah.
coincidence. It's to propel you onto a path. We're all here for a purpose.
Mm.
Yeah? And not many people know what their purpose is until a challenge.
To a challenge lick them, yeah.
Yeah, happens.
Yeah.
Right.
But you see, they said that your mess has become your message. You know?
That's right.
And
From
it's very
pain
true.
to purpose.
Yeah.
From your pain to purpose.
From your
Yeah.
pain to purpose. I like that one. I'm gonna write that one down. From pain to purpose.
Write it down.
Yeah, from pain to purpose. I never heard anybody say that. That's very powerful. So, in terms of you as a life coach, right, or well-being
Mindset coach.
mindset coach,
I work with the mind.
the mindset coach, right? You look at things like limited beliefs, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then. So, when we talk about limited beliefs, because people might be hearing this word for the first time, what do you mean by limited beliefs?
Okay, let me say it like this. A lot of people that I come across, they live stressful lives, right? They're unhappy in their jobs, their relationships, they have financial difficulties, they lack self-confidence, self-love, self-worth. And they say to me, I want to change my life, but they're not doing anything about it, okay? So, in order to change your life, you've got to start with changing your thoughts,
Okay
your
then.
thought pattern.
Yeah.
You've got to start changing the way you think. You
Yeah.
cannot have a new life without changing your old patterns of thinking.
Mm.
Now, in terms of limiting self-belief system, we grow up when you're from the age of 0 to 7. The way the brain works is a recording device. So you take on the belief system of your family first, and that will be either as well as positive, it will be negative. Then when you from the age of 0 to 7, you go to school, and you take on the school's belief system, which
Yes,
are negative
yes,
and positive,
yes.
and so on.
Yeah.
And when you're an adult and things are not working out in your life, whatever it is, you can actually trace it back to an event or a situation that happened to you in your childhood. You might have picked up some kind of negative belief system, a fear of something. So you've got to go back to where the origin is and then work on reprogramming the mindset, because you have a conscious mind, which is the mind that you view the world, which you interact with the world, and then you have a subconscious mind, which is where we live 95% of the time. The subconscious mind is like a computer.
Yeah, that's right.
That way.
That's
Like
right.
a computer running in the background, yeah? And it's got a filing system. So when things are happening in your life, it's going to your subconscious mind. So you've got to be very careful of what you feed your mindset.
Well, I get an example will be, because when I look at myself in terms of my association with money, because when it comes to money, I'm very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very, not only workless, but kind of laid back with money, right? And when I got money, I got to spend money. You know what I mean? I have no value for. I just don't know what it is with me when it comes to money. But when I break it down, that from young, your mom or your parents said that money is the root of all evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all kind of things associated with money, and so
Yeah.
so I get to chase that. All that I get to chase that. That's the reason why I'm not.
You're spending money.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm used to I don't have no account to money. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just used to come to money.
You know what? You're not the only one who thinks like that. A lot of people have this mindset about money, that money is bad, that money is the root of all evil. But money isn't. Money is just energy. It's just energy, and it's what you do with that money. You've got to build a relationship with money. You've got to change your mindset and think of money in a different way, because money isn't evil. You live in a society where you have to use the money, so you use it for the good. Money can be used for the good.
Yeah.
It's not evil.
Yeah.
But you've got to develop a mindset of prosperity. A lot of people live in scarcity. They have a scarcity mindset. You've got to have a prosperity mindset. That's what the rich people do.
What is true?
Also, in school, they don't teach people how to become business owners and entrepreneurs, right?
But
The successful business people, they teach their children all about money and business. There is a difference.
there is a difference. You see, you know what's interesting? Just to back up what you're saying, that it's on TV. They observe those who's won the lottery, right?
Yes.
Those won the lottery, and they notice that after about 5 years, about between 5 to 7 years, they become broke.
That's right.
And that's because in their mindset, they've got the money, they've got to spend it, right? And it's because of how we associate ourselves with money,
That's
so
right,
when you got the money, you got to spend it, or you get paranoid that people's gonna take it from you, or you see what I'm saying, because we don't understand.
They don't know how to use money. They don't know how to invest. That's right, because the rich people. There's a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah, no, Napoleon Hill. Yeah,
and it's got the quadrant. 95% of people are on the left side of that quadrant, where they're either working for somebody else right? They're employees or they're self-employed. Now, if you're on the other side of the scale, right, the rich people, which they are on that side, they are business entrepreneurs, business owners, and they invest in their money. That's why they're wealthy.
Mm.
They make money work for them. They don't work, they don't trade their time for money. That's the mentality that people have. 95% of people have that mentality. Yeah.
Well, you see, that's why, you know, that it's all about having the information and understanding the whole thing about money, because money is really a tool. It's just really energy, you know.
That's right.
And if you don't have the right mindset, right? I mean, all right then, because one of the things I say is that there are people say that, you know, we need to have more money, but yes, but you see, you find that, take footballers for example, you know, because some of them, I'm thinking some of them don't really have the right wisdom, right, or the certain sense about them, right? All they would do is just buy a big car, buy a fast car, faster car, and eventually them kill themselves in the damn car. You know what I mean? Or they buy one big yard and buy a car and party and just eventually just kill up themselves and all them things there. See what I'm saying? You know? Because they have no sense, you know? So it's the wisdom as well.
They haven't been taught. You're
that's right.
They haven't been taught it. But you can learn it because there is lots of, you know, books out there. There's lots of, motivational speakers, seminars that you can actually educate yourself. There's that book I mentioned as well. Go get that book. Everybody, they should have that book in school. Everyone should have that book. It's so powerful. It changed my mindset when I read it.
Well, you see, just to write on that, you see, you're right, because, you know, in school, when I was at school, that I was told algebra. Raggedy, you heard about algebra? Yeah, but I was taught that, you know, and up to now, I don't know what it is. And I haven't used it since I haven't used it since I left school.
Listen,
I haven't used it.
School is designed to program the masses anyway. Let's get that straight, okay? And
well, I'll say that again. School is to program the masses.
I'm sorry, let's get real here, you know, and you'll go on this kind of process, you know, where you leave school, then you go to university, you acquire debt. You leave university, you get a job. What's the next thing? What's the next big debt? A house. Yeah?
Yeah.
You get married.
Yeah.
It's like you're going on this process, you know, you're in like a system where it's there to enslave you. I'm sorry, it's there to enslave you. The only way you're going to become financially free is to become a business owner, an entrepreneur, or invest your money. You got to get smart now. Learn how to work smarter, not harder. That's how the rich people are rich, the successful people. But you know what? We have on our team Charles, who is an expert on the financial consultancy and financial education, and he can tell you all about money. Now, he's the one to talk to about that. I know a little bit about it, but he's the expert. I just wanted to touch a little bit about emotions. Okay? Because I'm a mindset coach. And emotions is very crucial, okay? You know, I used to work in a very stressful environment. And stress is not a good thing for the body, right? Because what happens is when you're stressed, you will start to produce cortisol, and too much cortisol will start to affect your cells. Your cells will start to contract and stop growing. And then that's when the body becomes out of balance, and then that's when health issues start to occur. And I meet a lot of people in the work I do who are stressed in their job. They don't like their job, so change it. But you know what? People fear. The problem is that many people are afraid of coming out of their comfort zone. In order to change your life, you've got to get used to being uncomfortable. That's the only way you're going to grow. You've got to do something different. And just to go back to my own story, because everything I've been through, I share with people.
Right.
And I had to change my whole life to get to where I am. Right? Now, Now, I was told in order to change, you've got to start working on yourself. And that's what I do with my clients. The first thing, you have to start working on you. Your inner world creates your outer world. It's all about self, right? Know thyself. So what I had to do, I started to learn to meditate. Michael said to me, I want you to learn to meditate. I didn't even know about meditation. How many people do meditation these days? Meditation has so many health benefits, and it helped me to get some peace of mind, some inner strength, self-discipline. Yeah. And I also do a lot of things. I have a morning routine that I develop, and all my clients have to develop a morning routine. You've got to start working on yourself. And that morning routine, just to give you a brief idea, incorporates affirmations, like gratitude affirmations. It's powerful.
Yeah, very powerful.
A lot of people, because you have to be grateful for what you have. Grateful for waking up in the morning. So they have to go through the series of gratitude affirmations, meditation, and also reading books. Books are powerful.
Yeah.
You got to start exercising your mind, because if you don't use it, you will lose it.
Yeah, it's true.
Just like you exercise your body, you exercise your mind.
Yeah.
And also, daily exercise is so important, because you know what? The rich people and the successful people, they have a routine.
Yes.
There's 10 daily habits that they incorporate.
Well, let me ripe on that, because it's all about having a ritual.
Yes.
It's about having a ritual. You know what I mean? And we look at successful people. They do have a ritual. There's certain habits you integrate in your daily life. You know.
That's right.
And I'm glad you've said that, because one of the things I'm doing now, I did start off and I was going crazy and I stopped off, right? But you got to have a ritual, like reading or meditation or affirmation, just getting that kind of ritual. It's about developing that whole mindset, that, you know.
That's correct, because that's what the rich people, the successful people do. Yes, you've got to get that mental strength. And you have to go after what you want in life by being a different person. You can't be the same person. You've got to change your thought processes. That's what I'm saying. You can be anything you want. You have the power within you. You know, you've got the greatness within you, because you are co-creators. Yeah, I talk about vibration because we are vibrational beings. We live in a vibrational universe, and everything is vibration, frequency, and energy. So whatever thoughts you give out, if you're giving out a negative thought, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to attract more negativity into your life. So people need to know that if you want something in life, you have to start being positive, saying positive things, doing affirmations, doing daily routines. If you do something that's the same, it's just like this. Let me give you this quote. Insanity, the definition of insanity is doing something over and over and over again and expecting a different outcome. You can't. You have to do something different.
You have to do something
and that's
different.
And that's what I did. Everything in my life, I changed it. I developed a morning routine. I started reading books, because readers are leaders.
Yes, true.
Very
Very true.
And I started to learn about the power of the subconscious mind. And let me go back to emotions. If you are feeling depressed, if you are feeling unhappy, if you're feeling stressed, that's low vibrational emotion. And
Hold on, say that again. That's very powerful. Say that again. Say that again. No, that's very powerful.
If you're feeling depressed, unhappy, sad, right, negative thoughts, you are attracting more of that into your life, because those are low vibrational emotions. You need to learn to train your mindset so you're on a high vibration. Think in terms of joy, happiness, gratitude, appreciation, all those kind of positive emotions. You need to raise your vibration, and you will attract more of that, the goodness, more of what you want into your life. And there's other things that I incorporate in my program that I work with people. Keeping a journal, writing, scripting, writing down what you want to attract into your life, because they do work. Yeah? Because as I said, we are vibrational beings. We can manifest things into our life by our thoughts. people don't realize that.
But you know something, boy. This reason is like music to the ears. You know, I really feel sweet by this thing. You know, I'm not gonna tell the truth. Me feel kind of drunk. You know, me feel like me charge up a little bit. You know what I mean? You know, I feel kind of tipsy. Me feel nice by this little reason. So, but to write on what you're saying, no, right? Give an example of the subconscious, right?
Yeah.
That I want people to listen to what I'm gonna say here, because it kind of rises what this is saying, that if you watch a horror movie, right, even
Yeah.
though it's not real, you still get frightened, right? Because the subconscious don't recognize the real and unreal. You see, so that is why
Absolutely.
it's very important for us to guide or protect our mind.
That's right.
Very
Absolutely.
important.
Very important.
Very
definitely.
important.
You know what? It's like TV now. You know, a lot of the young people, not just young people, but society in general, we're addicted to social media. I'm not saying social media is a bad thing, but I'm telling you that there's a lot of negativity
No,
there,
it's true.
and you're putting that in your mindset. You got to guard what you're putting in to your children's mindset. Watch what they're doing, what they're reading, what they're listening to. Give them positive things to do. You know, people don't talk to each other anymore. It's all about, their heads are down on their phones. They're either watching all these programs, which is programming their mindset.
Ah,
with,
yes,
with
yes, yes,
subliminal messages.
Yes.
And yeah.
yes.
The news, I don't even listen to the news because it's all fear. It's all about fear. And that's what you're going to be putting into your subconscious mind. So you've got to guard it. That's why reading and, you know, doing positive things, you know, that's going to enrich your mindset and propel you to the next level.
Okay.
Yeah.
But listen, let me ask you a question. What books do you or CDs or DVDs you recommend people to start off their
Okay.
journey? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I did to start off my journey with. And also, just before I go, I would say this. Listen to motivational speakers and inspirational speakers on a daily basis to get that positive vibration in the morning, yeah? To start your day off with good intention. You know, there's people like Les Brown,
Ah, well, Les Bro is my mentor. You know what I mean?
powerhouse,
The powerhouse, yeah.
right? Lisa Nichols, she's awesome. They all have stories, by the way.
Well, to be
Before they
honest
came-
with you, the reason why I got involved in personal development, I got personal development, basically speaking,
I know you
through a back
personal development,
kick in the
yeah.
backside. Really, I got a kick in
Yeah,
the
go on.
backside, and
What was that?
right, and it's true. Les Brown kind of slapped me up a little bit.
Oh my God.
And,
this man,
'cause I saw
awesome.
him.
I love him.
I saw
Yeah.
him in America. It's about 12, 13 years ago. No, what talk about?
Yeah.
Look at that, about 15, 16 years ago. Long little while now. And I saw him, and from then my life's never been the same. Because at them time I wasn't into nothing like this. Trust me, right? And couple weeks after that, again I got kicked in the backside. I went and saw Anthony Robbins.
Yes, he was
So
over here. He's
so you
awesome,
imagine my
man.
belief system went right through the roof. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Went
yeah.
right through the roof, you know what I mean? You had two giants just slap me up, you know what I mean? One slap me in the
Yeah.
face and one kick up my teeth, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
my belief system went straight through the roof. So when he said Les Brown, you know what I mean? Because most stuff I listened to Les Brown on a daily basis in the early days. Listen to everything he was saying. He really inspired me. And of
You
course
know what?
Anthony Robbins, of course.
There's
Yeah.
many, there's loads. You know, there's somebody that you should listen to. Eric Thomas. He's just so amazing.
Which one that?
Eric Thomas. Just YouTube him.
I think I've seen him.
He's been through.
It's a brother man, yeah?
He's a brother, yeah.
Yeah, man, me know. I've seen him on
So
YouTube. Give some big.
Yeah.
It is powerful.
He's powerful. They're all powerful, you know, but they all had challenges, you know,
Yeah.
before they got to where they are, right? Now to tell you about the book, right? The two books I'm going to give you. Now, have you heard of Think and Grow Rich?
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, man. Everybody must know about Think and Grow Rich.
Everybody talks about that, so I'm going to give you that as one of the main ones to start you off. It's not about just money, it's deeper than that. It talks about having a desired purpose, have a desire. You've got to have a purpose in life. Because that's the starting point. It talks about faith. It talks about using visualization technique.
Yeah.
Imagine the power of the imagination. If you can see it and believe it, then you can achieve it. Okay? Then the other book is about, if you want to know more about the subconscious mind and how it works, there's a book called The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. That's a good book to start you off. Absolutely fantastic. I got many books. There's one called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharman. That's an excellent book.
Okay, then. Who's that? Say that again, please.
The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma.
My sister, I have to spend a little bit of time talking to you because you have to teach me some things now, you know. And I thought that me know one or two things, but I'll come like a baby student to you know what I mean?
Okay. Well, listen, right. I just want to share with you that, you know, a lot of it starts with self. That's the most important thing. You're working on yourself that I want to get across to the audience. And a lot of people don't have love for themselves. Self-love is important because if you don't love yourself, how can you love anybody?
It's true.
Right, and I'm starting to develop some programs, some online digital programs. I've finished my self-love program, and I'm now working on a self-confidence program because a lot of people have lack of confidence as well. Yeah, but the team is phenomenal, and we've all been guided to come together because I always say we come together for a reason, and nothing happens without a reason, you know, by coincidence. Yeah, without coincidence. You know, so everyone is just unique, and we all kind of, you know, it's like a mastermind. I don't know, in Think and Grow Rich it talks about having a mastermind. That's this one mind thinking, you know, together. We have one purpose, and we want to share with people what we bring. Each of us have got an individual talent and experience, and we want to work with people and say to people that no matter what you're going through, we're here and we each can help you with different areas in your life. From health to finance. You know, look at Colin, you know, he's awesome. He's called the Miracle Man. You know, he's brilliant, you know. And then we've got a sister called Sophia. She has the bio scan.
I mean giving that name there, you know.
Did you?
Yeah, the Miracle Man one.
Yeah, I had his treatment and it works. It's brilliant, yeah. So you got Sophia, who uses a bioscan, and then we have someone called Chris, who's on a humanitarian mission, and she's got her meditation going on and her miracle tone. Then you got Michael, who's got his 30 years experience in health. He's just awesome, health, and he's helped so many people to reverse their illness, you know, and he's a mentor as well. And then you have another person who's on social media expert and marketing. Then you have Charles, who is bad on the financial side. You need to know about how to make your money work for you. So he's the person to speak to. So this is all about leading up to our seminars as well, because we're going to be introducing ourselves at our events, and people can come and listen to what we have to say. So it's been a pleasure talking to you, Dougie. Thank you for this platform.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, then, have you got like a website or email address people can contact you?
Okay, I can give you the Wellness Academy website. So that's www.thewellnessacademyglobal.com. And then I have a website. It is sharonsilvera.com. And you can find me on social media on Facebook, Sharon Silvera.
Sharon.
Yeah, with an E.
Okay, then, Sharon, give thanks for the reasoning, because the reasoning kind of sweet me still, you know, because them thing that it's them thing that me him love to talk about, you know what I mean? You know, in fact, this is one of my areas and one of my interests, I would say, you know.
You know what? I didn't know that. You know, I'm so glad that you know I was able to partake.
Yeah. It so happens that for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been focused mostly around health, prostate cancer, diabetes, and health. I've got interest in health now, but before that, you know, it was just my thing's really about the mind and relationships. You know.
But remember, Dougie, right? Even with health, right, it starts with the mind.
It starts with the mind, of course.
Because
Everything,
I can
it
tell
all
you-
links.
I can don't link because I can tell you something. I can give you another guy, Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza. Look him up on YouTube. He had a really bad. He's an American doctor, but he's now a holistic doctor, and he's phenomenal. He had an accident and he damaged his spine, and they said he would never be able to walk again. You know that he healed himself with the power of thought. Seriously, and he tells his story on YouTube, and he's got his books out. It's called Joe Dispenza, How to Rewire the Brain.
How to rewire the brain.
Yeah. And there's another guy called Bruce Lipton. He's a phenomenal when he starts talking about the biology of the cells, because we have like 50 trillion cells in our bodies, and they all talk to each other. So you got to be careful what you're saying to yourself, you know.
You know, son, that's quite interesting. I want to explore that, you know.
Yeah.
We want to explore that, you know what I mean? So when I talk about the cells talk to each other. In fact, I don't know if you heard this brother called Dave Murphy, right?
Oh, Dave Murphy.
Yeah, Dave Murphy. Go on YouTube. He's quite big. Since I met him, he's been on the radio a few times and done quite a few for interview. I'm quite gravitate what he says, you know. In fact, there's a quite interesting reasoning between the Miracle Man and Dave Murphy a few weeks ago on here. It was quite good, man. Very powerful. You have two man wrestle with each other. You know what I mean, right? But
Can I ask you something then?
Yeah.
Do you record the shows, and if you do, where can I
yeah,
find
man.
them?
You can go up on YouTube and type in
What other type? Let me write it
hold
down.
on. Type in Bless Radio 1.
Hold on, let me write this down.
Yeah.
Bless Radio 1.
Yeah, Bless Radio 1, and type in my name, Brother Dougie, and Jammers.
Do I actually put brother?
Put Brother Dougie. But what I do, I'll have to, when I speak to you tomorrow, I can let you know exactly which one to look for. Yeah.
That'd be great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Because some of the team members was asking to listen
But
to.
hold on a second, because remember I was saying to you, no, listen, because Dave was saying that I think he was saying that your belly, I forget it's right, in the source has a brain, you know.
Yeah, it is right. It's true.
Yes.
Your second brain.
Yes.
Your gut instinct.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the mindset linked to your health, everything is connected. You know, you can actually heal yourself, you know, by the power of your thoughts, by what you're thinking, not just by what you're eating. It's all about your thought, because we can give everybody the right food and whatever health they need, you know, to get well. But if they're thinking negative, they're not going to get well.
Right, it's true. Okay, well, listen. I think we should read it probably next week, you know, or week after, because I don't really done with you still, but we don't really make it. I can't make it done. So, but we have to read it probably next week or the week after.
You know what? I'm going away, you know, so I don't think I can do that. I'm going to the Wellness Academy in Cyprus, because we're having a launch in November. Remember, we're having an event. And we're gonna be launching in Cyprus, the first leg of it, and then we're gonna come back to London and then Birmingham with our tour. It's the Health and Wealth Tour, the Wellness Academy Health and Wealth Tour. We're gonna talk more about that anyway, because I'm sure Colin will come back on and he'll talk about that, and Michael will come back on again and talk about it. But we're gonna start off in Cyprus, so I want to promote it when the time is right. Hopefully people can actually travel over there. It's gonna be a weekend event. It's going to be amazing, all the speakers together talking, presenting, and we're going to have products that people can actually, you know, buy from us, you know. Yeah.
All right. Okay, then. Well, listen, my sister, and it's...
Yes.
My car is Sharon. It's not Sharon, it's
Sharon.
Sharon.
You can't forget that name.
No, Sharon. My car is Sharon. All right. Sharon, look it up. So, if anything, we're going to reason later, yeah?
Yes, definitely, Dougie. Thank you. I appreciate you, and keep up the good work.
Yeah, man. All right, then. Give thanks.
Give thanks.
All right. So that was Sharon on the line with us. And you know some, I call the woman Sharon all the time. Her name is Sharon. What a powerful, 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 powerful sister. Talking about the power of the mind, talking about our limited beliefs. Boy, she broke down everything down to us, you know. All right then. So again, you're lucky to the Jam Master Show. We do have jammers with us.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave, for being on the show. We really appreciate this.
I'm really excited to be here after all this whole trip. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I stumbled across your work, years ago, but I was really interested in the work that you've done with urine therapy, and I know that you've done some interviews on urine therapy, and I'm curious. It's kind of a weird subject. Mm-hmm. Most people are averse to it. Have you been doing any urine therapy on this trip yourself?
Yeah, I do it every day.
I
mean, I've been doing it every day, pretty much every day for the last 6 years.
And I saw that you fasted on your own urine for some time. How long did you fast for?
I did a 30-day urine fast.
Oh my goodness!
Which, no food or water. It was just urine. I tried looping everything that I produced, but I ended up I was going like every 15 minutes, so I had to cut back a bit. But yeah, it was just urine.
So they say that as you continue to cycle the urine through your body, you pee more often, right?
You do, and it gets clearer and clearer.
Okay.
It does change. It's weird because your body's adjusting all the time, so it kind of changes its taste and it kind of varies. So you just have to, it doesn't follow any kind of pattern. Your body's, a dynamic system. So, all these things, change as you go along. It's just very strange because I was actually healing stuff in that 30 days.
I bet.
And so my body was adjusting. So the urine was adjusting along with it.
What do you think you were healing?
Oh, I healed my asthma. My lungs repaired themselves.
Really?
Yeah. I had asthma. I've had asthma since I was a child.
Wow.
And it was chronic. I nearly died from it once. And literally, my lungs were the lungs of a 70-year-old. After my fire department medical, they told me that, and they were going to take me off the breathing apparatus. So 4 days into the fast, I had this urge to run. I was doing a walk and I had this urge to run.
I think you talked about that in one of your videos, didn't you?
Yes.
A video in a park somewhere in London or something, right?
Yeah.
In England, yeah.
So I was walking, I had this urge to run, and I ran for half a mile. And bear in mind, before that, it was like I
never ran before.
I could run for about 50 yards, and I'd have to take half an hour to to rest and recover from it.
Yeah.
But I ran for half a mile, and I got to the end. I was like, I can still breathe. What's going on?
How bizarre.
And my lungs had come back.
And how long had you been fasting on urine when you did the run?
This was only 4 days into the fast.
Dude, so what caused you to do that? I mean, it's one thing to do, a lot of people do intermittent fasting. Now, I do that every day. A lot of people do 1 day fast or 3 day fast, and they're doing green juice fasts. People do that. But what made you, fasting alone is something where it's like people look at you strange, right? But to do fasting on the urine, you didn't ease into this thing. It's kind of bizarre, right?
Yeah. Well, I'd been doing urine therapy for a year at that point.
Okay.
So I was seeing the benefits. I was feeling great. I had more energy and things were starting to get better. My hair started to grow back and things. It was quite amazing. And I listened to somebody talking about the urine fast, as something to heal yourself with.
Right.
Now, I got the impression that this person had already done the urine fast himself, but it turns out he hadn't.
Oh.
And when I met him, he said, "Oh, well done for doing a urine fast. I don't know anybody who's done it who wasn't dying."
Yeah.
So
what a crazy thing.
Yeah.
So you did it for 30 days, and you must have drank. Did you drink other liquids? Like, what liquids did you drink?
Well, at the beginning, I was drinking because I was still in the squeamish type phase. I was drinking like a mouthful of distilled water or orange juice because when you start the fast, your urine gets very strong. And cloudy and stuff. Right. So I was just kind of rinsing my mouth with some freshly squeezed orange juice or distilled water. But that only lasted for a week or so, and then I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't drinking anything other than urine.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. See, I do it every morning, but I do like a homeopathic kind of thing, like because I'm still like I don't know what it is. I just don't. I'm still not scared of it, but I just. I'll do like a teaspoon of it in the morning and I'll mix it with water and I'll just chase it down and I've been doing that for a few years, but I've never thought to do a full fast. But I mean, I imagine that if your body is healing on a fast itself, then if you're going to be on urine, I can't imagine that your body would be just the healing process would be multiplied, like incredible.
As I said, 4 days into the fast, I saw, I also had nerve damage in the side of my foot. And pain up the back of my leg from an Achilles tendon operation. And this pain had been with me for 4 years. And then 4 days into the fast, the pain was gone. And the nerve damage along the side of my foot, gone.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
And you had that for years?
4 years.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That's so bizarre.
Back problems as well. They disappeared. My shoulder, which was kind of grinding, that sort of healed itself. And I said, my hair started to grow back and, all the lines on my face started to smooth over.
And how long ago did you do the fast, this 30-day fast?
Oh, this was back in 2012.
2012, so sometime. So have you done one since then, another one?
Not a urine fast, but I did a 60-day breatharian experiment.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too, because you talked about that on your YouTube channel. If you guys want to check out Dave's YouTube channel, it's DMurphy25?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay, cool. And your most recent videos are about urine therapy, and you have some talks. So you did a breatharian fast?
Well, yeah, it was an experiment because I'd been reading about breatharianism.
Good evening to you. This is Drive Time here on BBC Radio London, frequency 94.9. So I'm going to talk to Dave Murphy now. Dave is in the studio with me. Why am I talking to him? Well, he's improved his health.
Yes, so again, welcome to the Jam Master Show. I was paying some recruiting of the great man Dave Murphy. As you know that he's the man of the moment, and he'll be reaching back down in London. He's based in Brighton, but he'll be coming down in London very shortly. And he talks about the urine therapy and talking about health, talking about fasting. Also, he talks about the mind. He talks about the money scam. He really is an amazing individual, and we're glad that we can connect with him, and he can be part of us, part of the team, so to speak. Also, we're from I call him woman Sharon. Sharon. What I know Sharon her name is still, right? And boy, we could talk about all day and all night, because she has some in-depth with me. She's one of the top motivational speakers in the country, right? And you can see why, because she studies regular. She reads, she study, not only study, she's about action as well. She's a life coach, and don't forget, right, she's been through some serious challenge. You hear what she said, that I think the week before, the day before she's supposed to go to America to meet her husband, she get a call, said her husband passed, heart attack and them thing there. See? So yeah, man, that is one powerful sister, right? So inside the house we do have brother Jammers, who's in the house, and he'll be reading with us very shortly. He'll be talking about Active Future. There's an event taking place at the end of September, so we'll be touching around that. Also, he'll be talking about the Speaker Club, what's going from strength to strength, sooner or later we won't find space for the burning ground because enough people all over, mostly a lot of people from South London's coming to the burning ground centre, the Speakers Club, you know. I think it's well known. So I'm gonna play a bit more of Dave.
94.9. So I'm going to talk to Dave Murphy now. Dave is in the studio with me. Why am I talking to him? Well, he's improved his health, and apparently that of many others who have followed his lead through a rather unusual manner, by drinking his own urine. Dave Murphy says urine therapy has transformed his health, helped him lose weight, and even got rid of his asthma, and helps him maintain his youthful looks. Well, you do look very young, I suppose. I don't know how old you are, but
Thank you.
How old are you?
54.
54.
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon to you, and thank
Hello.
you so much for coming. Where do you even start with this?
When do you start? Well, I started because I went to a festival and somebody was talking about it. And I walked in with my friends with our arms folded, like, tell us about drinking your wee lady. And she gave this talk that made us walk out going, we're going to have to try this. And all of us tried it the next day. And 6 years later, to my knowledge, all 5 of us are still doing it to this day.
Well, I can't imagine the kind of speech somebody might have to give that would encourage me to do that.
Give me 15 minutes with you and you'll be doing it tomorrow.
No, you can't. I give 15 minutes with me, you'd be climbing the walls. But I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be cider, yeah. I'd be drinking brandy, yeah. Not what? So did you have any reservation about it?
Well, when I first started, I was as squeamish as anybody else would be. Yeah. I saw the health benefits from the talk. Yeah. I understood how...
Okay then, this is the great man Dave Murphy. So again, this is the Jam Master Show, and we have jammers inside the house, and Jam's going to be reasoning with us about Active Future. So Jammers, how you been, my brother?
Yeah, I'm just recovering from last week. I'd like to thank everybody who's firstly supported us at the courts the week before with Abu, and also everybody who's come down to the Speakers Club Sunday. Wow, what a phenomenal turnout and night it was there. So I'd like to just congratulate especially BAP as well for their performances, which I think was really on point. You know, the young actors really excelled, and yeah, and for everybody who took part, who came there, and we had a lively discussion that day. How did you find it, Dougie?
It was very good. Very good. I tell you what's very good is a discussion where you could take a subject and turn it on its head, for 1 minute, and different perspective, comes out, and it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting to hear the comments, what people are saying, So, and the good thing about all this stuff is it's recorded, So if you go on the Speakers Club, and you get you can see the recording of most of these events here, and it's a good way of educating and have a discussion about because the theme was swagger and confidence.
Yeah, swagger, arrogance, and confidence. Yeah,
swagger, arrogance, and confidence.
And how do you become a more effective speaker?
I become a more effective speaker, and I must have confessed that Melvin Barrett was very good. I mean, I learned a lot from him. Very, very good.
I was at the room at the time. So how did his?
Melvin Barrett was good, on point.
What was he talking about?
He was talking about the mind.
Right.
About the mind, and the emotions, right? What influence the mind and so forth. He's just amazing.
Yeah.
He's, and his background is teaching.
Right.
In fact, he's a maths teacher. He's a maths teacher. I think he's the head of this department or something like that in his school. But he stopped that now and he's into personal development, like it's a word they use. I know it's a life coach, but they use their word for
inevitability.
Yeah,
inevitability coach. Yeah.
I'd like to know what he means by that as well. He's told me that 3 or 4 times. But that's what he deals with. But he's an amazing individual, amazing speaker. And he really has a rapport with the audience. It really is amazing.
Yeah, and Yeah, as we were saying, that the discussion, yeah, was about has swagger and arrogance replaced confidence. So we looked at that, and yeah, it was very, very interesting, and we're just gonna now take it to the next level. A couple of ladies came to my attention that there's a certain ingredient missing in the Speakers Club. So I've been talking about with Theo about it and James, and we're going to implement, because basically we need to now put in the how to speak. You know, when you get in certain situations, the formula of what you need to do to speak effectively. So that is the next element that we're going to be putting. Also, we'll be doing our Speaker of the Year Awards in October the 27th. At the Bernie Grant Arts Centre, the Speaker of the Year Awards. So basically as well, if you've got anybody you think should be nominated for the Speaker of the Year, you can send in your nominations. Firstly, you can even text me until we get it up and running on the site. But if you think you know somebody who should be put forward as the best Speaker of the Year,
is that from the Speakers Club?
Yeah, anybody who you think should be nominated for the Speaker of the Year. You can 07931 417 553. You can text us with your nomination. 07931 417. I think I got it wrong. 07931 417. You know what? I can't even remember my own number. I'm gonna be giving the number later on in the show. My mind's just gone a bit blank. But yeah, basically, Speaker of the Year awards. So if you know anybody in the community, either in the community or anybody prominent you think should be nominated as Speaker of the Year, you can just text us. I'll be giving you the number later on, and then their name will go forward, and the most popular nominees will come forward on the day to receive the award. And a keynote speaker on the day. We're also going to be having a discussion of resurrecting the family. Resurrection of the family. So we're going to have a discussion on the day about that, and also the genius of the black child. So October the 27th, Saturday, October the 27th, at the Bernie Grant Art Theatre, the main theatre. It's the Speaker of the Year Awards, and once again we're going to have a conference on resurrecting the family and also the genius of the black child. The keynote speaker on the night will be none other than General Seti from America. Will be the keynote speaker. Also Edison will be in the house as well. We've got another couple of prominent celebrities who's going to be there. There will be a live panel discussion similar to what we've done on the etymology panel. So we'll have Errol Hines will be the judge, because it's not going to be a straightforward just talk and leave. You've got to come out with a proper solution and formula, otherwise the judge and the audience will crucify you. You know, so that's going to be, hopefully we're trying to make this the event of the year. October the 27th, Bernie Grant Arts Centre. I think tickets will be available probably from the end of next week, and it's the Speaker of the Year Awards. If you know somebody who you think should be nominated as the Speaker of the Year, you can text the nominee. I will give you the number where you can text. So if you want information on the event as well, I'll be giving out the number. Once again, it's going to be Speaker of the Year Awards, also a national conference on resurrecting the black family, and then we'll be talking about the genius of the black child. Keynote speaker will be General Seti from America alongside Edison, and we've got some other celebrities as well, and with a live panel discussion. It should be the event of the year, so stay tuned to that. Yeah, and I'd like to thank everybody and the ancestors and everybody else who's kind of put me in this, you know. Doug, remember we spoke about this about a couple of years, about 3 years ago, that we're putting on the Speakers Club event, and now to be holding like a Speakers of the Year Awards is showing that this thing is rising as well.
Rise to the top.
And I said that next ingredients is we're going to be doing lessons. But at the moment, the lessons might, I'm not sure, because we've got this event coming up. No, I think I'm still going to go ahead with the lessons. It's 9/11, because what else has happened is my first two books have been found. The first two books that I produced, the files on the first two books that went missing like years ago, have been found. So I've got to big up Mantis for that, basically. So I'm going to be working to get out the first two books once again, which is the first book, the Bible, the End Bible will be back, you know, and the decoding language as well. So basically, those two books will be back with the etymology book as well. So I'm going to be working strongly to get that. But yeah, we will be doing, because the demand is there. So 9/11 every Tuesday, from September, Tuesday evening from 7 till 9, we'll be doing higher learning lessons, which will consist of the topic of the month. So it'll be either hieroglyphics, etymology, or public speaking skills. So basically it'll be one of those three that will be doing the how to, because a lot of people are, even myself, has been doing a lot of talking about what it is, but the missing ingredient is how to. So basically these classes will be how to do Medinecha, how to do etymology, how to public speak. It's not just going to be a preacher, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's it really. Also, I think I'm going to be doing something at the New Chances as well. Every Wednesday in August, I'm going to be doing etymology classes in there, and that's every Wednesday. I think it's from 2 till 4 every Wednesday at the New Chances. I'll be doing. You can come down and drop in classes in etymology as well. So it's all systems go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right then. So what would you know?
And so the main thing now as well, do you remember, is it September the 29th?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Active Futures, yeah. Basically, I've got a role in Active Futures to provide a language-rich environment. So if you look out for Active Futures, September the 29th, we're having it back in the park again, yeah? Yeah, so I'll be back in the park again, and that's White Hart Lane Recreation Park. I've been privileged to be assigned a role of providing a language-rich environment. So basically, yeah, I'll be there, and you can get information on classes, because we do a Saturday school as well. So if you want to, or courses, if you want to find out a bit more, come down to the event on the 29th, where you can meet me in person, and then we can find out where you're at with your language and what requirements you would need to improve your language capacity. Yeah.
Okay, then. Fantastic. Also, want to big up to Matthew, Sister Anne, Rakik. What's his name? Rakik.
I'll find out.
Rakik.
Maybe one of the team could ring up and.
I always pronounce her name wrong, you know.
Yeah, one of the team could ring up and say
what
about the
sister.
future, what they're doing.
Yeah, very powerful Sister Anne, Rakia. Sure, I need a slap, you know. And also, again, I'm big up to Brother Matthew. And as I said, big up to the Find the Voice team as well. Russ Minty, big up your stages every single time.
Yeah, big up Russ Minty. Minty, big up. Yeah, we got a link.
Yeah. Big up yourself.
And also got big up Buzzy B, also Theo as well, part of the and Lady Essie. All of the and everybody was and Eric Michael Charles was back as well. Everybody of the Speakers Club team who was there last week, and everybody who knows us as well, who came down. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay then. So we're gonna again just listen to some more of the reasons of this of Michael. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna place crooning of this lady here.
Hi Dan. I just finished watching your 2-hour conversation on YouTube, and it was so beautiful. I really, really loved it. I enjoyed a lot watching it, and I got so motivated to make a video response, because I've been wanting actually to talk to you, both of you, since a very long time about this topic, and always, letting time go, and I'm very lazy. And but finally now here I am, and it's about rejuvenation. I want to give you my experience. I want to tell you about some very, very simple and effective method of rejuvenating your skin, your body, your whole self, and not only your outer physical appearance, but also getting to your natural state internally, which is your essence, which is youth, which is being vibrant, being always in a blossoming state of being getting to the core of yourself, which is love, which is pure light, and the best radiant expression of it, and it's so simple, and it's in you, it's in every one of us. It's there's nothing to buy here, to sell. I'm not trying to sell anything. I just want to share this amazing discovery that I have made. It's not my own discovery because it's something very well known, but of course suppressed by by the powers to be, because it's so effective and it's so free of cost and at hand all the time. And in one word is urine therapy, or 2 words, whatever. Yeah, it's your own urine, and you probably already heard about this and had some suspicious or I don't know, your own mental conditioning from, I know that because that was also my first reaction when I heard of it, and was like, what? It's something my body is getting rid of. Why should I put it back?
Yeah, greetings once again. Greetings, family. Greetings, bless all the listeners, East, North, South, and West. In tune to the Jam Master Cell. God, thanks, Dougie. First half was mainly about wealth. Today we're going to once again continue what we talked about last week, which is basically reality and the mind. The mind, how you experience your lifespan, the life that you're living. Are you really living in reality, or are you living from what someone else has told you? So today I want to talk about what is and what is and what is not. Basically, when I mean what is, I'm talking about how are you actually living your life. Basically, how are you living? I mentioned last week about we're living in a sentence. Basically, when you see people walking up and down the street, and you look in their eyes, somebody you notice that most people are not even aware that you're around. They're walking. They're serving they've got a sentence running in their head, maybe late for work, pressure, got to pick up the kids, or anxiety, and so they've got a set of words that's been put in their head, that they've even self-programmed or put in their head. So their experience of a reality is based on a past program of expectation that's been put in head. What I mean like that, like maybe if someone's got a house or a gas bill, they're not experiencing actually how they're walking in the street and the air and the divine nature of themselves, because they've got their essence of experience has been intercepted by a set of words that is programmed to run in their head, called a sentence. What I mean by a sentence is the words that have been created make you operate in a way that you are experiencing life from what somebody else has put into you, basically. And I said there was 4 ways that your thinking is affected. Your 4 ways of how your thinking is affected. One is by, if somebody asks you a question, you no longer are experiencing an environment how you want to speak. You're forced to go into yourself to pull out answers. So basically your freedom is taken away because you're serving the sentence of answering somebody else's question. So that's one way you end up serving a sentence, when someone asks you a question. The second way you end up serving a sentence is when somebody gives you an order, when someone tells you to go and do something, or when you agree to do something, when you somebody asks you to borrow money, or somebody asks you if you can help them do something else. That means that basically you've taken on an order. So that basically now your thinking now is you no longer have free thinking, because now you've got to process this order that you've got to carry out. And so the first one is if someone asks you for information, basically is a form of interrogation. So you no longer have a free mind, because you've got to go in your mind to find out the answers that somebody else expects you to have. The second way is if somebody gives you an order or asks you to do something, you no longer have a free mind, because now you've got to perform the function that you've agreed to do. The third way is if someone gives you an emotion. So someone could call you a name, or someone else could have an emotion about them. So you no longer have your free state of mind, because you've taken on somebody else's emotion now, or you're even processing, trying to help them with their emotion. So you now have a free mind. So you're serving the sentence of the emotion. And then the fourth way, if someone makes a statement, so if someone makes a statement to say this is how things are, that means they've put comes from the word mentality, in a state you know. So if someone's saying all men are silly or all men are lazy, you know, or you never do this or you never do that, that means they've made a statement which is they're claiming is fact, and you have to work around the fact that they put in front of you. So I said there's 4 ways that you serve a sentence without being in the prison, a physical prison. You can be being a mental prison, but there's 4 ways that this language is used to hold your mind. And basically the first way is by someone asking you a question, you know, what you feel you have to answer. You know, the second way is if someone gives you an order, tells you to do something. The third way if someone gives you an emotion. And the fourth way is if someone gives you a statement. So there's 4 different ways that your mind could be in a sentence. And when your mind is in a sentence, you're no longer experiencing reality. What I mean by reality is, I mean your high divine nature, because experience is when you actually do develop. I don't like to use the word learn, but that's when you actually are really learning real information. When you're accessing real information, that is when, like, especially when the time when you're getting a proper experience is when you go on holiday. When you go on holiday, you have no pressure of work or bills to pay, and you're experiencing, usually you're in a good environment, so you're experiencing the sun, you're experiencing the food, you're experiencing the people around you, and you find that your abilities on your mind is more open, and you get an expansion of the mind and more enlightenment of the mind, because you're actually experiencing. When you was a child, as when maybe you was in the park, or you was running around in the park or playing with your toys as well. That's experience, because you were touching, feeling, hearing, and had the freedom to do what you wanted to do in that environment. There's no control, so you had the freedom to explore. So this is what experience. Remember, the word experience comes from the word expere. Spear means peer, really, when you see something. When you see something and the knowledge of what you see and comes out, that's what experience is. So you'll go to a movie, you see the movie, or you'll work at something. Maybe that's a better example. Say maybe you do some painting. You know, you do some painting for the first time, and you experience how you paint the wall, and then you can see how you improve your painting. That's experience, because you've actually done the event and you've got that information stored in you. So when that circumstance comes out, you've got the experience that you can pull out the information again. You can do it better, or you can do it at the next level. You have many different ways of seeing. You don't just see with the sight of your eye. Actually, sight with your eye means to see with your eyes. So that experience comes from the word peer. Peer means to see. When you peer in a window, you know, so experience means something that you've seen. X means to come out. So you've seen something, and what you've seen, something comes out of what you've seen. Experience. Another word that another way of seeing is actually through your fingers, because your fingers touch things. Your fingers are experiencing. So your fingers are seeing what it is to touch wood, metal, flesh, liquid. So your fingers are getting information. So they're actually taking, because it's all vibration. It's communicating with vibration. And then the more you communicate with the vibration, is the more you understand the vibration. You can manipulate. It's basically manipulating vibration. So your fingers are manipulating the vibration of surfaces of earth. So your fingers connect with the earth. So your fingers connect with different types of earth, connects with the different dexterity of the earth, whether it's like liquid, solid, even wind, gas. Your fingers can interpret the rhythm of gases. So basically that's how you learn to use for your hands, especially when driving a car. You know, you learn to move your hands in the environment of the gear stick, the steering wheel, you know, adjusting the seats. So when your fingers are actually interacting with these different textures of density, you're storing the information in your brain, so that then when you get in another car now, you can access that information and move your hands, and if you're manipulating on a computer screen as well. So you're taking the information. This is the high level that we have, you know. Then even you're seeing when you're breathing, because you're seeing the different smells. Every time you breathe and you smell something differently, you can smell like gases, you can smell when something's toxic, you can smell something sweet, you can smell a perfume. So you actually see with your nose as well. So your nose is giving you information, so that when you see the label of a certain liquid, you already know, or vegetable or food, you already know what it smells like because you've experienced that smell before. So these are devices of how our high level interacts with nature and feeds our brain with enlightenment. So basically as well, with your mouth now, you're interacting with liquid. So every time you open your mouth, you're seeing what the liquid is. You can see the alcohol, you can see the orange, you can see the sugar in it with your eyes shut. With your eyes shut, when you drink something, you can see what it is with your mouth. So you've got 5 different ways that you see, and interact. And this is all experience, because you're peering into something with your senses, and that information is stored in you that you can use on in another time frame. So this is how we really become enlightened, by having an experience of what is around us. But what has happened now, they've put words in front of you, so you no longer, the word is really just supposed to be the map. So for instance, the word hot is the map of what heat is. So basically, if you put your hand near a match or a lighter or even the sun, you can actually feel the heat from the sun. You can experience it. So you're getting a feeling of what heat is. But when you've been given the word is the symbol for the heat, but the word doesn't give you the feeling of the heat. So basically now, if you've never experienced something hot and you've just been given the word heat, you know what the word heat is, but you've never experienced the heat for yourself. So you can't access that knowledge in its fullest effect to do anything constructive with it. So basically, as I said, if people watching boxing and they can see the boxing, but they've never done any of the boxing themselves or any of the training, they could be an expert in the fighting, the punches, the who's going to win. But if you put them in a ring, they will get knocked out by the first punch. So this is the problem that we're having in this society, is we're not actually experiencing anything for ourselves. We've got a bunch of words that's been given to us, and we're basing our experience off these words. And the words as well, as I said, the words is just a map. The word doesn't actually show you how to do anything for yourself. For instance, I'll give you another example, is the Facebook friends. A lot of people have got a lot of likes. They've got a lot of girls on Facebook. They're interacting, texting. But if they put the girl in front of them, they wouldn't know the first word to say to the girl. You see, so the experience is getting lost by our not experiencing what life is. Yeah, Doug, you got anything to say to that?
No, I've nothing to add than to listen. And the way you put things in perspective is really on point. I like what you had to say there. I like listen to what you're saying, Jammers, there, because you really seem to put things into perspective. And it's all about experience as well. As you said, that that it's like someone could read all the books about swimming, right?
I love it.
But when it comes to realities, that's you got to go in the water to experience.
That's right. You got that's exactly the key. Yeah. And as I was saying, is this, the more that even when we used to go out, we used to, even without phone, we used to be able to meet up, we used to go to house parties, we used to interact, we used to socialize. Now the society is now you're socializing through your mobile phone. So the mobile phone is you're getting all your experiences from this electronic signal. That is, so you're living in a virtual reality platform. You're not really seeing anybody. You can be at home enjoying everything. But if you was a person looking at yourself for the evening, you'll see all you're doing is sitting in front of this electrical, all by yourself, sitting in front of this. Say if an alien came to the window, just land a spacecraft and look at you through the window and just analysing you to get information to take back. They would say, well, weird. This man is just sitting in front of this piece of plastic all night long, like he's in a trance.
But you know what's interesting? Because earlier on we had sister, I can't woman, Sharon, but it's not Sharon, Siobhan, right? And we was talking about the TV. So it's called TV program. It's called TV program. There's a clue there because it's programming our mind, right? And it kind of ties in what you're saying, Jammers. That there's plenty of nonsense on the TV anyway. Nothing really. You might have one or two constructed to literally one or two things, right? But most things what's on TV, right? On TV, right? It's all about what? Misery. You know, it's all about people getting killed, violence, and you know what I mean, and this, you know, where police are trying to find this man who do so and so and so. It's all sadness. See? And what they're doing, they're just damning your mind, your intellect, you know. And at the same time, you know, if you're, you know, some people might watch TV just by themselves, right? And when the advert comes on, right, what they put on adverts, you know what I mean? Go have a drink or go have some chocolate, or so they're playing to your emotions, see? And that's how they have you all the time, you know, because you know. Yeah,
I just like to basically when you're talking about the soap operas, it's called the science of poetics. Yeah, poetics is an ancient science that we invented, the art of storytelling. And when in art of storytelling, you always have a bad guy, you have a good guy. So you have the fight against good and evil, and then you have where the circumstances is where they set up the storyline. And after they've do the setup, that's called the setup. So every film starts with the setup. So it starts off with you showing what the situation is. Then it starts off showing you the characters. So it shows you a bit about the background of the characters. Then it shows you the good guy doing well in himself. Then it shows you the bad guy coming in. Then it shows you a circumstance where the confrontation comes in, where it's the good battling against the bad. Then the bad guy will always... The good guy will win up to a certain extent. Then there's always a stage where the bad guy gets the upper hand, and then at the very end of the movie, then the good guy will win. So what happens in the soap operas is they leave out the end of the story to have you addicted to watch. You notice you watch EastEnders, it doesn't come to an end. You know, so that creates an addiction to the actual storyline. It's a formula that they use to get you, because basically these people are on budgets to try to get. They're based on your popularity. You know, the shows.
But don't forget, these people have, you know, the top psychiatrists on these programs, who are writing script to have you hook on the storyline, as you said. You know, and once they have you see, come back to stories. Stories are very powerful. Because the reason why newspapers sells based on what? Stories. The reason why these soap operas and these TV programs, as Jam said, based on what? Stories. Stories. See? And there's a clue there, you know, there, because the reason why they have us hooked is based on stories. You know. So
there's a bigger clue there that you set it up, but there's a bigger clue there in the word stories, Doug. The bigger clue in the word stories is the word store.
Say that again. Store.
In the word story is the word store. And what we was talking about with experience. Remember, every time you experience, you store that information to access it. So when a similar situation comes into the effect, you go back into your storeroom called your memory to get out the information to act in that situation. So when you're watching all of these movies now, you're storing the information of the story in your memory. So you see that Phil Mitchell, every time there's a certain circumstance, you have to fight or you have to get angry. And as Doug is saying, once you've seen all these people continually for your entertainment, contain means when you're held in a container, you know. Maybe sometimes you don't want to be in that container. Tain means to hold. Retain means to hold back. Re means back. So retain means to hold back. Contain means to hold with. Entertain means you've entered into being held freely. You've freely gone into an environment where your brain is going to be held by the story in the movie, and the information in that story you're going to store in your memory bank. So when a similar situation comes out, if you're watching 5 hours of misery, you wonder why you're miserable the next day.
Well, just to write on what Jam just said there, because he's absolutely right. Because don't forget, your mind is like a video recorder. See? So what happens when you experience a bad experience? What happens? It goes into your memory bank, it records, and you attach to the feeling. And that feeling, you start feeling depressed. Right? What happens when someone's depressed? Observe them. They have shadow breathing. Right? Their shoulders is down. You know? and they moving like zombies about the place, based on what the experience was recorded into their mind. So what Jam is saying, we can alter that by changing that movie screen what you plays over and over again. Why do you want to watch a lousy movie every single time? Think about it.
Yeah, think about it, because basically your girl's just left you. You know, you crashed your car. You know, you've lost your job. What you gonna do? You gonna watch EastEnders? You gotta watch, after all that depression, you gotta put yourself in a movie with more depression and wonder why the next day you feel even worse.
And what happens is that you feel sorry for yourself. What you do? You buy yourself a Tennant or a whiskey or whatever to put yourself into a more depression state.
Or you go and get some narcotics or some stimulates to stimulate you. But the problem is, when you're smoking certain things, it stimulates the state that you're in. That's why it's called a stimulation. So basically, if you're depressed and you're going smoking something, it's going to stimulate your depression.
Yeah. You penetrate more on that problem there. Okay, put in that state, see, and that's how they have us. You know, that's why it's very important. You know, you see, you could change your state just like that. You know, I mean, if you say to those individuals who are depressed and say to them, listen, you know, son, you've won the lottery, they probably do a somersault, right, and run, you know what I mean, and say, yo, but you could change your state just like that. See, I mean, it's interesting, you know. You know, in the early days, Jammers, right? Mm-hmm. You might come home from work or whatever, come off the street, no anything, or come from work or whatever, and he said, "Boy, your brother have a party, you know. I mean, I look forward to it because there'll be a whole woman there and be food and drink, and even though you're tired, you get a buzz, you know what I mean? Cause I look forward to this thing, yeah. See, one minute you're tired, but we ain't about partying and everything, and no girls gonna be there, us. Yeah. See, you feel good. You see what I'm saying? You could choose state just like that.
That's it. And basically, you know, you're the actual one that provides as Edison, you know, you're the one that actually provides the emotion to the stimulation that's been put in front of you. So basically, you get a birthday present. You're the one that get excited to the birthday card. You're the one that it gets excited to the kiss. You're the one that gets excited to the money or the car or the clothes. So basically, it's not the clothes that's giving you excitement. You're getting excited by the program that you put to make you get excited with, you know. And basically as well, as I was saying, the first thing I said is about sentences. You're serving a sentence by the sentence, that you've been sentenced by the sentence. That's in the very word. The very word is written in what? Alphabet. It's called the alphabet. So basically, the alphabet produces alpha waves and beta waves. So the actual words, programs, if you look at the word program, TV program, it's not written P-R-O-G-R-A-M. It's written P-R-O-G, let me get this right, P-R-O-G-R-A-M-M-E. So the word TV program is not written as P-R-O-G-R-A-M, program. Look at the word program in TV. It's written P-R-O-G-R-A-M-M-E. So it's written as program me. So when you look at the word TV program, to your subconscious, it's saying program me. It's putting your brain in that alpha state that you accept information in. So basically, to program somebody, you've got to get their brain in that alpha state. An alpha state is a relaxed state. Anybody who wants to be programmed, like if so you're taking a girl out, or the guy's taking a girl out, you buy her a drink, so well, that's not what me do, that's what Supreme's been telling me. But anyway, I said, yeah, so basically, to get anybody to accept something, you've got to put them in an alpha state, a relaxed state, and that's the language is called an alpha, beta. So basically, alpha, The first thing that anything to do with the advert you showed a fast car, sexy girl, certain music, is to put you in an alpha state to advert. Ad means to move, vert means to in a direction, to change the direction. When you veer off something, that means you've changed the direction. So basically, an advert is designed to make you move in a different direction to where you was going. You might walk to the Tesco's to go and buy something, and an advert will come up to so you see this new drink with the pretty lights and the pretty design of the drink. The drink almost even looked like a woman, the way the woman's shaped. So it's adverted your attention to go and buy what you're supposed to go and buy, and now you're buying this new drink, and then you're walking along, and your eyes are adverted by the bookie shop. You can see this your favorite football team must win. So then you're adverted for going home. Now you bought this new alcoholic drink because your eyes were adverted in Tesco's. As you're walking home, your eyes get adverted by your favorite football team is must win this match, so you end up in the bookies. And then while you're in the bookies, your eyes are adverted. Now you can see that Real Madrid are playing a team that they must win that, so you're spending more money because you keep getting adverted by this. And then the next thing, you're walking after you've lost your money. Now you've gone back to that to buy more of that drink that you was adverted to in the first place, and you find that you're moving in the stage of that you're always getting adverted away from where you want to go.
Right. And just to run on what Jammers said there, that it's very important to understand this, that every time you see a betting shop, right, see where the post office is. We're talking poor area, right? So, for example, right, if you're on benefit, right, you get your gyro or whatever, right, you come out the betting shop, what do you see? You see a betting shop right beside it. And then before you see the betting shop, you see a liquor store, right? So you might get a drink to mess up your head, right? And when you're going to bet, you still come out, you still buy a drink still to mess up your head still. If they're not messed up in the first place still. So everything is deliberate to mess up our mind based on what Jammers is saying.
That's it, to keep you adverted. And then when once you've just gone to the post office, got your money out to the bank, you've gone into Sainsbury's, you've seen this new drink, you didn't realise how strong the alcoholic content is, so you're drunk on that now, so it's made you even more relaxed. So when you see your favourite football team in the bookie shop now, you go and spend the money in the bookie shop. Your team wins because you know your team, but because you was adverted to what Real Madrid was going to do, and you don't really know the team that Real Madrid was playing, you lose your money in the bookie shop that you're supposed to bring home for your girlfriend. So now you get more and more depressed. So you've gone back into the liquor store now to buy more liquor, and then you say you've got to try and win this money back. So now you've gone back into the post office again to draw the rest of your money out to try and win the money that you lost back first in the bookie shop, and then now you've lost even more money. So what happens now? You're supposed to go to your girl, and now you've lost the money, you're slightly drunk. So what you do, you see the pawn shop. So you've gone into the pawn shop now, and you pawn now the ring that she just bought you last week. Now you've gone and put it in the pawn shop.
And you see, that's where worries come in, because therefore your queen or your wife will say, look here, what kind of runs you dip on? And because you feel embarrassed, and because she kind of diss you, right, and you don't want to feel like a little boy, right, you have to demonstrate your manhood. So you start being abusive by being shouting, and in some cases being physically being abusive, because your manhood is being threatened. See? You see the scenario is? You've been setting up, but you played into that setup. Because of what? Lack of knowledge of oneself.
Oh, the trick of it, yeah. And then you're taking the stimulation. Now, remember what we said about stimulation. So you're going to stimulate your anger or stimulate your depression by saying some form of narcotics or drug or recreational activity. But that's only going to stimulate the state of your mind that you're already in. And then what do you do after all that? You sit down and watch EastEnders to get more depressed for the next day.
Right. Yeah. And it comes back to the sister said earlier on about the whole thing about controlling your emotion, be in control of your emotion. It's quite interesting that and I know here, but in America, Jammers, when you have some of them, you have some students, right, who just go in one of them college there and shoot up some people, just at a bad day and just start shoot up, right? And have to get the army of fame or whatever, to take him down. And there's two things there. A, he's not in control of his emotion, obviously. But also they get to find that it's the medication, right? Because there's a case where it was on the news, in fact, where this particular youth, right, kill up enough people, right, in this university, see, and when they trace it back, right, it was the medication, because he never had a history of being violent, in fact, he's been one of them goody boy, but what it was is the medication he was taking, see, will make him paranoid and so on, so there's a clue there. So we have to be conscious of the medication and the drugs we're taking.
Well, I think this the whole system, because what is the part that you missed out is the next day they're bringing out the next video game, which is with more killing and more violence.
Yeah,
so basically, we don't know what is going to set your subconscious off, because from the age that you're born, all you're seeing is killing, murder. You're playing these new video games with even more killing, murder, drugs, auto theft, where you go around can go thief car, and then they wonder why they use thief in car, because they're playing these programs of how to kill, murder, thief, rob.
Well, Jammers, just to jump in there, I watched it on TV, right? And I was really watching this thing here, one of them Sky program there, and the thing was about how to kill a man. Some massive weird.
What program?
It's a program,
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about how to kill a man, right? I do for kill a man, right? So I wonder if it's some kind of drama documentary thing, but the man I talk about the best way for kill a man out. I say weird, but I wonder if I'm seeing things, this on TV, right? Late one night, right? And there's some games on when I'm talking about of a killer man.
Well, the thing is, people, I want you to listen now.
Yeah.
You wouldn't treat your dog how you treat your children. I say it again. You wouldn't treat your youths. You wouldn't treat a dog how you would treat your youths. Because if you got a pit bull now, and you want that pit bull to be a nice, friendly animal, you're going to give it an environment that is going to be nice, friendly. You're going to treat it well. You're going to put it in a place that keeps it calm, level-headed. You give it food. You show it love and appreciation. If you want the pit bull to be a vicious animal, they're going to teach it how to go and eat raw meat, bite up this and bite up that and bite up this. So what do you think you're doing when you put your youth in front of a TV screen or EastEnders, when they're seeing murder, killing, violence? Then you're buying them a video game, murder, killing, violence. Then you put them in a school where you can't monitor what behavior they're encountering when they're in the school, and then the books that they're reading, not even reading now, but they're on the internet now, with the corruption, the vile corruption on the internet, then on their mobile phone, and then you're wondering why your youth is carrying on like that.
Scene. And when your TV program talk about Offer Killer Man, right? And up to now, I don't know if this program was very real. I don't know if it's a joke. I don't know what it is. But the program's called Oh Killer Man. Or what I do to kill somebody and blah blah blah.
Well, the thing about, you see, what it is, when you're at a high level, when you're working at a high frequency, you're sensitive. You got to keep a sensitivity about you. The more higher learning you are, you got to be sensitive. You got to be you put your mind in a sensitive state, which is higher than the alpha wave or the beta wave. There's a theta wave as well, which is your higher mental state. So when you're in a higher mental state, you're more aware, and your body will tell you, no, you can't do this. You've got a judgment, or you've got an intelligence working, what's going to stop you from doing certain things. But when you subject, remember, subject means when you throw yourself under something. When you subject, so when you throw yourself under these TV programs, the video games, the Facebook and the YouTube, you're putting yourself under these devices. And the more you see of these devices, the less sensitive you become to murder, to killing, to behavior that don't make sense, to nonsense. So basically, you need more. You become addicted to this behavior, because now you can see murder and killing, but nah, man, they didn't kill enough people in that movie.
Well, you see, and it's true, because some people watch something and say, boy, not enough people get killing there, not enough action and all them things, not enough people get murder up and all them something there. What kind of madness y'all talk about?
You know?
See, and what you know, you see, it's interesting because you also got to understand the history of the European people, where they're coming from, because they come from a history of barbaric war. You know, the history is all about war.
But I want to say something, Doug. There's certain, the thing that make me laugh is certain man in the conscious community. They're going about the white man this and the white man that. And what do they do? How do they spend their time? They're on the video game, killing people on the video game. Then they're going to watch the EastEnders, and then they're going to the movie to watch all the killing in there. You know what I mean? On the newspaper ain't no news unless it's killing or murder.
Yeah.
You know, the page that you're looking for is to see who got killed or who got murder.
That's
right.
right.
You know what I mean? So we got to look at what we're doing. You know.
That's absolutely. Answer, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
And you see, as Jammers said earlier on, that it's about raising our consciousness, raising our vibration, raising the chakras, raising it up. Because what we operate is really from the root chakra. That's why we're so barbaric and we're so bad mind and going open nastiness and so on. So, because we need to raise our level, our chakras right through to the ultimate crown chakra. And that's what John was talking about earlier on.
And crown really means to cry ownership. The one who wears the crown is look at the word crown. The first two words in the word crown is cry, C-R. Cry. Cry. But it's a short word of cry, and the last three letters of the word crown is own. So basically what you cry, you own. So when you use your crown chakra, you say something, you say it to own it. You're not subjected to somebody else's what somebody else wants you to do. And as I was saying now, that whole of the problem is the way that the language is designed is to have you serve, and as I said, is to have you serve in a sentence. The reason why the language is designed to have you serve in the sentence is structured to do just that. To make a sentence, you have to have a subject, a verb, and an object. Every thought that goes into your head, or every time you write something you're taught to write in school, it has a subject, a verb, and an object. The word jek means to throw, right? I'm just going to go back now and show you how to read, because what it is, 90% of the population do not know how to read, because it's by design. They don't want you to know how to read. If you look at the word read, how can you understand something if you can't even read what's in front of your face and you've not been shown how to read? So I'm going to show you how to read. The first two letters of the word read is R-E. R-E, when you see R-E together, one more thing, I'm going to go back one more. Language is mathematics. Yeah, language is mathematics. If you don't know that, then you're not even going to fathom anything else. So language is based on mathematics. When you see R and E together, it means a minus. Every time you see R and E, it means to go back, recall, remember. Right, so RE is a minus, it means to look back. AD is a plus, it means to advance. Remember I said it's alphabet. Alpha wave makes you relax. The beta wave makes you perform an instruction. Alpha, negative. Beta, positive. So read means go back. Read means to look back, and RE means to go back. AD means to move. Move. Every time you see the word AD, it means to move. Admire. When you admire someone, you're moving to them. Advance. When you advance, it means to move forward. Add increases what you have already. So AD means to advance, means to move. RE means back. So when you see the word read, it means to move back. So read means to look back. That's how you can see what something is. So if you want to read a word, you have to look at the word and look at it backwards. You have to look at the sounds in the word and put the sounds backwards to see what it is. So the word read means to look back to see what it is. I'm going to give you 3 examples. Recall. Recall means to call back. Return means to turn back. So to see what the word is, you break up the components and you say the components backwards. That is what the word is. They give you meanings. Meanings is when you see a word and they're not showing you what the word is, so you get a book called a dictionary that gives you another word. So basically, you don't know what the word is, it just gives you another word. So you want to find out what the word, as I said, you want to find out what the word love is. You go to a dictionary, it's going to give you compassion, which is just another word, because mean in mathematics means average. You know, your mean is average, and as I said, a mean man don't give you anything. So when you go into a dictionary, it's not going to tell you what something is, it's just going to keep it vague, so you have to keep, you will not know the code of what the language is. So basically, I'm giving you the code of languages. Read means to look at things backwards. You see, and even look at things backwards also means to look at the history of it. So basically, if you look at the word love, to find out of what love is, not what it means, you have to go back to where does the word love come from. The word love comes from Latin, and it means fantasy. Basically, it's what the aristocracy, the rich royalty, made up stories to impress, or to entertain. They didn't have TV, what we've got now. So that was a word that was created for fantasy. When you made somebody fantasize something, that's where the word love. So to find out what love is, you've got to go back. Remember, read means to look back to where it come from. When you know where it comes from, you know what it means, and then that's when you know what it is, you know how to maneuver.
Absolutely. So Jammers is spot on. Also want to big up to Lyndon as well, who's logged in right now. So big up yourself, Lyndon, who has a book on diabetes. And anybody wants a book of Lyndon journey talking about diabetes, you can get it from Brooklyn, who's based on Seven Sisters, by Seven Sisters Station. You will see him there just outside the station there, but on the high road then, on the corner of West Green Road.
Right. So I was getting back to that. So basically, but I went a bit off track. My point is now, remember I said sentences is made of a subject, a verb, and an object. Every sentence consists of, in the English language, consists of a subject, verb, and an object. Remember I said now you're going to read the words by looking back. So subject is, ject means to throw, sub means under. So subject means to throw something under. That's what the subject means. Every sentence, they don't tell you this in the English language. Some of them don't even really know it anyway. The scholars don't know this. Subject means to throw something under when you read it backwards. Object means to throw something against. So object means when you throw something against something. Subject means when you throw something under. And verb is a vibration one way. Reverb means to a vibration back. So verb means a vibration. It means a vibration. So basically you can see that it's violence straight away.
See it there.
It's violence in the sentence. It's violence. It's based on you're under something. What we're saying, you're under a program as a subject. So you're supposed to be, the subject is the main character in a sentence. The subject does something to the object. So the subject does something to the object, but the subject is already under something already. So the subject is under a program. The subject could be under violence. So the subject is under violence. So the verb is what he throws against. The object is the dog. So the subject, so even in the word sentence is a clue, because the subject means you're under a program that makes you do something against something you object to. So the subject is under liquor, is drunk, and he throws his shoe against the object, the dog. So basically the sentence is when you're already under a program. It's in the word subject. So if you use a sentence, you're under a program, and it's a clue is in the sound. You're sent tense. Tense is when you're held. Like if you're nervous, you're gonna be tense. Your body's gonna be held. If you're a tenant, you're held in the plot of land that you're renting. A tenancy is when you're held on the land. And if your skin is tender, that means you're going to hold your hand because it's tender. So the word tense comes from the word ten. Ten means to hold. So basically the reason why ten means to hold, because when you go back to Roman, it's two crosses. The word 10 in Roman numerals is two crosses. And when you put a cross against something, that means you're stopping it from passing passing through you. You know, so 10 means to hold, because 10 backwards is net. Net means to hold into net. So your net, so net backwards is 10. So basically the sentence is a holding device. 10 is a holding device, because another reason why 10 is a holding device is because it's a hexagon. So basically, if you've got a cube, if you've got a cube and you open all the folds of the cube, you will see a cross. You'll see it will make the sign of a cross. So you've got a cube. A cube has got 6 sides to it. And when you open the cube, you'll see that 3 of the sides go across, the other 4 sides go down. So it makes the sign of a cross. So basically, the sentence is what you're held under. And the point that I'm making, I'm gonna end this soon. The point that I'm making is, when you think, you're thinking in a sentence, because you're putting words together. To even have a thought process, you've got to use words to have a thought process to perform the action. The problem with a sentence is the words that you're using, because you've been taught to think as a subject and an object. So you're taught to think that I'm having a drink, you know. So basically, you're taught to think in 2 dimensions. You're taught to think, drink me. So me drink, me want drink. So you're taught to think in a 2-dimensional way. This is alphabet now. Alphabet is 2-dimensional way. Alphabet is, I'm relaxed, I need to do something. Alpha, relax. Beta, do something. So you're taught to think in an alphabet. You're taught to think using your alpha beta waves, which is, I'm relaxed, or I want to be relaxed. I need to do something. Boy, I'm thirsty, I need a drink. So you've been taught to think in a sentence. A sentence is when you have a need and you need an object to satisfy that need, that you're trapped into that sentence. Right. 3rd-dimensional thinking, or higher level thinking, or thinking on a conscious level, or intelligent thinking is, this body wants a drink, but I know if I drink that sugar, it's going to cause a problem. So you're thinking, you've got 3 ways thinking, you've got 3-dimensional thinking. The easiest way to explain 3-dimensional thinking is when you was a youth and your mother told you, tie up your shoelaces before you go out. This is 3rd-dimensional thinking, because as a youth, you just want to go out. That's 2-dimensional. Boy, I mean, I want to go out and play with my friends. The 3rd-dimensional thinking is the mother thinking that says, tie your shoelaces before you go out. Make sure or your dad say, make sure you come in by 10 o'clock. So you've got a higher level thinking on your operating system that is not part of the action that's going along. It's not part of the sentence. It's the part that's above the sentence that's looking out for your interests. So you've got to activate your 3rd-dimensional thinking in anything we do. So when you're thinking about getting a drink or thing, you've got to activate the higher thing that's away from the sentence, that's saying, right, this is, if you take that drink, this is what's going to happen when you take that drink. Or so you've got to come out of the sentence by thinking on the consequence of the sentence. Don't be the subject that has an object against it, because the subject, you're under a force. Be above the sentence and look down on yourself in a 3rd-dimensional way to get yourself out of the sentence that someone else wants you to serve. Because when someone is asking you a question, stop understanding the words, stop standing under the words. Why do you want me to answer that question? You've moved away from just answering the question. Someone gives you an emotion. Why do you want me to take on that emotion? You stepped out of the conflict. Someone gives you an order. Why do you want me to perform the order? You've stepped out of the sentence. So basically, when someone makes a statement, why do you think it's that way? You've stepped out of in that sentence. And a sentence uses words. Words are term. Term is a period of time again. So when you're using a term, that's a period of time. So every time you use a word like shy, late, tired, that you're putting that programming to be that sentence of time. If you didn't have the word tired in your vocabulary, you couldn't be tired. If you didn't have the word weak in your vocabulary, you couldn't be weak. So you've got to stop understanding these words. Stop standing under the words that they've given you to serve the sentence, and come out of the sentence and become free of yourself by thinking on a higher level, like what your mother or dad used to do when you're performing the action. You've come out of the action that you're going to perform and looking at a higher level, that looking at the consequences, that action, serving yourself, or are you serving the action? Are you drinking a drink because you're drinking it for the sugar, or are you drinking it for your health? You know, are you sitting in front of the TV for the TV, or are you doing it for your health? So when you think of your self-preservation or being healthy, you're thinking of what is the consequence of me as a divinity when I perform this action. So is it going to be am I performing the action for the sugar? Am I doing it for the bookie shop? Am I doing it for my friends, or am I doing something that's going to benefit myself? So when you think on that high level of self-preservation, you're coming out of the sentence that you're serving and you're performing on the high level of consciousness. Thank you.
Yes, bum. Wall per rhythm of go on this man. I like them kind of reasons, so, and that's why words are powerful, because don't forget, right? And I said it earlier on, right? We need to involve or integrate positive words every single day, because when you use negative words like, for example, I'm no good, I'm useless, I'm this and that, you bring that energy to yourself.
Can I just
you become that. So when you say that I am positive, I am love, I'm caring, what are you doing? You bring that kind of energy to yourself. Yeah.
I just want to intercept that, because what I'm saying, you got to go beyond words, because every word is a program for you to perform the action that's been put in that program of the word. So what you got to do, you got to experience. This is what it really feels like, because sometimes you got a preconceived way that this is what the situation is. I always walk the road. I always do this, and you're shutting down your sensitivity because you stopped experiencing. You walk in the street and you don't even realize that you've got home already.
But this is what I was saying, that you've got to experience that you are strong, that you are powerful. You actually got to feel it, smell it, you know.
Well, so
and then you walk into that into that greatness, because everything starts from the subconscious level, right? Because we've been programmed, but we can reprogram ourselves from stuff. Don't forget, your mind don't know difference, you know. Your mind don't know difference. So if you say yourself your users, your workless, you've told your subconscious. But if you say I am powerful, I'm strong, and you feel it, you smell it, you know, and you visualize it, you become great.
Well, I think the first thing you got to do is recognize who you are. You got to recognize who you are for what you are. That's your starting point. So you might feel lack of confidence. Feel what that lack of confidence feels like. Don't fight it or reject it. Feel the feeling of what you're experiencing. Once you can know who you are, then you can make the step to better. Because remember, it's all experience. So when you're actually experiencing who you are, then your mind can use information to maneuver to make yourself better. Because a lot of time we're not who we are. We've got an image of what we want to be, but we never really know who we are. We never feel, well, what is it? It's only when you're like sick or when
but you see, if someone's going through like depression,
yes,
right, they're sad, they feel miserable, things not working out, right?
Yeah.
Right. One of the things you can do is give them the tools so that you can feel strong, powerful. And you can do that by affirmation. This is what I was talking about earlier on today, right? So that is a tool to move someone into their greatness by programming the mind every single day. See? And we're talking about from the subconscious level. We're talking about reading positive books. Listen to great speakers. It's a start. And you're right. It's about feeling. Who are you? Who really are you? You are great. You have a great purpose in life. If you could tell yourself that all the time, that I am great, I am strong, what you're doing, you're programming your subconscious mind.
And I have to take what's his name? Young Pharaoh, because he's done an excellent presentation based on the language thing. And the key thing is basically, you are not your body. You're not your depression. You're not your fears. You're not your shyness, because your body is performing an action. Now, when you go and say, I want to get a drink, your body gets the drink, but the order is not coming from your body. The order is coming from somewhere other than your body. When you're going to do something, your body performs the action, but you are not the action or the body performing the action. You are the command that you've set, that is sent to the body to do the action. So you've got to start getting in tune with this commanding element. Who is this commanding element? Even young Pharaohs, I mean, a valid point. When you're looking in the mirror, you're seeing the body. You're not seeing who you are. You don't know who you are, because you're just like the creator is unseen. You don't know what the creator is. You just know there's a creator. you don't know who you are because you're part of the creator. So you can't really see who yourself. All you can see is this body, but you can't see the person commanding the body to perform the action. And what you have to do to get to your higher self is starting to get into tune to this command figure that thinks the thoughts, that sends the body to perform the actions. So when the shyness is what the body feels in fear because it's not used to the circumstances that it is, but there's a higher self that is not, that you are not that shyness that body's experiencing. You're just taking the circumstance of the shyness that's getting fed back to your higher self.
Okay then. So with that reasoning, sir, as a powerful reasoning by Jammers, and yes, so people take on the reasoning. And
oh, sorry, Doug, I forgot to get the number out. So if anybody's interested in advancing their skills, we've got some courses in September. Also, if you've got a speaker you want to nominate for the Speakers Award October the 27th, or if you want to get involved in Active Futures on September the 29th, 07931 417 553. Once again, 07931 417 553. I'll say it one more time, 07931 417 553. Dougie, excellent. Thank you once again.
Yeah,
boom.
Man.
Family,
right,
bless. Big up.
Man. All right then. So that's Jammers with some serious reasoning. Look at the whole thing about the power of the mind, our thoughts, our language, and our reasoning. And he was on point. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play some more of D. Murphy, because as you know that he's one of our great scholars, and he's graced his show here a few times, and we will continue the reasoning. Okay, we're just playing the recording of my man there. Of
This is Drive Time here on BBC Radio London, frequency 94.9. So I'm going to talk to Dave Murphy now. Dave is in the studio with me. Why am I talking to him? Well, he's improved his health, and apparently that of many others who have followed his lead through a rather unusual manner, by drinking his own urine. Dave Murphy says urine therapy has transformed his health, helped him lose weight, and even got rid of his asthma, and helps him maintain his youthful looks. Well, you do look very young, I suppose. I don't know how old you are, but how old are you?
54.
54.
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon to you, and thank
Hello.
you so much for coming. Where do you even start with this?
When do you start? Well, I started because I went to a festival and somebody was talking about it. And I walked in with my friends with our arms folded, like, tell us about drinking your wee lady. And she gave this talk that made us walk out going, we're going to have to try this. And all of us tried it the next day. And 6 years later, to my knowledge, all 5 of us are still doing it to this day.
Well, I can't imagine the kind of speech somebody might have to give that would encourage me to do that.
Give me 15 minutes with you and you'll be doing it tomorrow.
No, you can't. I give 15 minutes with me, you'd be climbing the walls. But I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be cider, yeah. I'd be drinking brandy, yeah. Not. What? So did you have any reservation about it?
Well, when I first started, I was as squeamish as anybody else would be. Yeah. I saw the health benefits from the talk. Yeah. I understood how it worked, and
how my body, which is a finely tuned thing,
mm-hmm.
has developed a way of surviving. And what it does is I put food in, and it gets rid of waste. Part of that waste is urine. How is it that putting that back into my body is a good thing?
Because that's an erroneous interpretation. What happens is your blood goes to your liver screens out all the waste, all the viruses, toxins, whatever shouldn't be in the blood gets taken out by the liver. The purified blood goes to your kidneys, which are there to keep your blood in balance. So it siphons off all the excess of all the good stuff that's been carried along by your bloodstream. So the excess water, the excess minerals, vitamins, hormones, all the good stuff, because having too much of anything in the blood is just as bad as having not enough. So literally your urine is a snapshot of everything your body needs, but just happens to have too much of at that moment. And while it's sitting in your bladder, your body sometimes realizes it needs some of that stuff. So it will reabsorb it from the bladder, which is why some people have this experience where they're dying to go to the loo and they get distracted. And then an hour later, they realize they don't need to go to the loo because, you know, while they were distracted.
But you're talking about biology, man. You're talking about my body and how it's worked and how it's developed over thousands of years. You're not talking about me putting it in a glass and drinking it.
Well, this is when you see how this stuff works. It's amazing. So it's literally a way of getting all the good stuff that you need into the outside of you for outside use. I mean, if you cut yourself. You can try this, Nick. If you cut yourself... No, if you ever cut... No, I don't mean just go out and cut yourself. No. I mean, if you ever get a cut, put the urine on it straight away. Yeah, but immediately it will stop bleeding.
That's because...
Within a minute, it will heal over.
Yeah, well, that's because it works as an antiseptic, doesn't it? It works. It's disinfectant. It takes out the germs. That's how it works. No, it's not meant to drink it.
Do you know how it works? Well, I've been studying it for the last 8 years. Yeah,
oh, right.
It works. Some of it works because it's got stem cells in it for one thing. The stem cells that literally roam around the body looking for things to repair.
Tell me before I bring in the doctor, who I'm imagining is chomping at the bit to get.
Sure.
Well, that's fine. It's chomping at the bit to get on. Tell me about you then and you now.
Okay, me then. I was nearly 20 stone. I had chronic asthma. So much that I couldn't walk maybe 100 yards without needing to rest. I had back problems, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I had nerve damage inside my foot. I had pain up the back of my leg after an Achilles tendon operation. I couldn't lift my my arm above shoulder
Well, you just change your diet. Eat less. How about that?
I tried all sorts of things.
What, eating less?
Yes.
Eating better food? And that didn't work for you?
Nothing seemed to work. I had a few sort of, minor successes with hydrogen peroxide and a few other little things, but nothing seemed to actually work until I tried urine therapy.
Let's bring in our doctor, shall we? Dr. Sarah Jarvis, London GP and Clinical Director of Patient.co.uk. Good afternoon to you, Sarah.
Good afternoon.
Thanks so much for joining us. I mean, look, it's not the first... I'm doing this, oh my goodness thing, but actually, I remember, was it Hayley Mills? There were lots of people who have been talking about this for quite some time. And once they've done it, are all very passionate about the health benefits. It won't be the first time you've heard this.
Well, they're not all very passionate about it. The people who are very passionate about it tend to talk about it. But of course, what we know is that there have been no randomised control trials and certainly no double-blind randomised control trials. I love the way your caller, Dave, said, he thinks that by saying it's an erroneous interpretation, let me use long words and people think it's more scientific. No, it's not, because he used a terribly simple word there, which was that your kidneys your body uses your kidneys to get rid of excess, rid of things that you don't need, that you have too much of. At best, you might get a bit of calcium, you might get a bit of magnesium back into your body, but actually, do you know what? You could do that by using a healthy, balanced diet. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever. And he's going to say that he felt a great deal better. Do you know why? Because he spoke to
Observe how the mind labels it and how this labeling process, this continuous sitting in judgment, creates pain and unhappiness. By watching the mechanics of the mind, you step out of its resistance patterns, and you can then allow the present moment to be. This will give you a taste of the state of inner freedom from external conditions, the state of true inner peace. Then see what happens and take action if necessary or possible. Accept, then act. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. Always work with it, not against it. Make it your friend and ally, not your enemy. This will miraculously transform your whole life. As long as you are unable to access the power of the now, every emotional pain that you experience leaves behind a residue of pain that lives on in you. It merges with the pain from the past, which was already there, and becomes lodged in your mind and body. This, of course, includes the pain you suffered as a child, caused by the unconsciousness of the world into which you were born. This accumulated pain is a negative energy field that occupies your body and mind. If you look on it as an invisible entity in its own right, you are getting quite close to the truth. It's the emotional pain body. It has two modes of being, dormant and active. A pain body may be dormant 90% of the time. In a deeply unhappy person, though, it may be active up to 100% of the time. Some people live almost entirely through their pain body, while others may experience it only in certain situations, such as intimate relationships, or situations linked with past loss or abandonment, physical or emotional hurt, and so on. Anything can trigger it, particularly if it resonates with a pain pattern from your past. When it is ready to awaken from its dormant stage, even a thought or an innocent remark made by someone close to you can activate it. Some pain bodies are obnoxious but relatively harmless, for example, like a child who won't stop whining. Others are vicious and destructive monsters, true demons. Some are physically violent, many more are emotionally violent. Some will attack people around you or close to you, while others may attack you, their host. Thoughts and feelings you have about your life then become deeply negative and self-destructive. Illnesses and accidents are often created in this way. Some pain bodies drive their hosts to suicide. When you thought you knew a person and then you are suddenly confronted with this alien, nasty creature for the first time, you are in for quite a shock. However, it's more important to observe it in yourself than in someone else. Watch out for any sign of unhappiness in yourself, in whatever form. It may be the awakening pain body. This can take the form of irritation, impatience, a somber mood, a desire to hurt, anger, rage, depression, a need to have some drama in your relationship, and so on. Catch it the moment it awakens from its dormant state. The pain body wants to survive, just like every other entity in existence, and it can only survive if it gets you to unconsciously identify with it. It can then rise up, take you over, become you, and live through you. It needs to get its food through you. It will feed on any experience that resonates with its own kind of energy, anything that creates further pain in whatever form. Anger, destructiveness, hatred, grief, emotional drama, violence, and even illness. So the pain body, when it has taken you over, will create a situation in your life that reflects back its own energy frequency for it to feed on. Pain can only feed on pain. Pain cannot feed on joy. It finds it quite indigestible. Once the pain body has taken you over, you want more pain. You become a victim or a perpetrator. You want to inflict pain, or you want to suffer pain, or both. There isn't really much difference between the two. You are not conscious of this, of course, and you will vehemently claim that you do not want pain. But look closely and you will find that your thinking and behavior are designed to keep the pain going for yourself and others. If you were truly conscious of it, the pattern would dissolve, for to want more pain is insanity and nobody is consciously insane. The pain body, which is the dark shadow cast by the ego, is actually afraid of the light of your consciousness. It is afraid of being found out. Its survival depends on your unconscious identification with it, as well as on your unconscious fear of facing the pain that lives in you. But if you don't face it, if you don't bring the light of your consciousness into the pain, you will be forced to relive it again and again. The pain body may seem to you like a dangerous monster that you cannot bear to look at, but I assure you that it is an insubstantial phantom that cannot prevail against the power of your presence. Some spiritual teachings state that all pain is ultimately an illusion, and this is true. The question is it true for you? A mere belief doesn't make it true. Do you want to experience pain for the rest of your life and keep saying that it is an illusion? Does that free you from the pain? What we are concerned with here is how you can realize this truth, that is, make it real in your own experience. So the pain body doesn't want you to observe it directly and see it for what it is. The moment you observe it, feel its energy field within you and take your attention into it, the identification is broken. A higher dimension of consciousness has come in. I call it presence. You are now the witness or the watcher of the pain body. This means that it cannot use you anymore by pretending to be you, and it can no longer replenish itself through you. You have found your own innermost strength. You have accessed the power of now.
What happens to the pain body when we become conscious enough to break our identification with it?
Unconsciousness creates it. Consciousness transmutes it into itself. St. Paul expressed this universal principle beautifully. He said, "Everything is shown up by being exposed to the light, and whatever is exposed to the light itself becomes light." Just as you cannot fight the darkness, you cannot fight the pain body. Trying to do so would create inner conflict and thus further pain. Watching it is enough. Watching it implies accepting it as part of what is at that moment. The pain body consists of trapped life energy that has split off from your total energy field and has temporarily become autonomous through the unnatural process of mind identification. It has turned in on itself and become anti-life, like an animal trying to devour its own tail. Why do you think our civilization has become so life-destructive? But even the life-destructive forces are still life energy. When you start to disidentify and become the watcher, the pain body will continue to operate for a while and will try to trick you into identifying with it again. Although you are no longer energizing it through your identification, it has a certain momentum, just like a spinning wheel that will keep turning for a while even when it is no longer being propelled. At this stage, it may also create physical aches and pains in different parts of the body, but they won't last. Stay present. Stay conscious. Be the ever-alert guardian of your inner space. You need to be present enough to be able to watch the pain body directly and feel its energy. It then cannot control your thinking. The moment your thinking is aligned with the energy field of the pain body, you are identified with it and again feeding it with your thoughts. For example, if anger is the predominant energy vibration of the pain body and you think angry thoughts, dwelling on what someone did to you or what you are going to do to him or her, then you have become unconscious and the pain body has become you. Where there's anger, there's always pain underneath. Or when a dark mood comes upon you and you start getting into a negative mind pattern and thinking how dreadful your life is, your thinking has become aligned with the pain body and you have become unconscious and vulnerable to the pain body's attack. Unconscious, the way that I use the word here, means to be identified with some mental or emotional pattern. It implies a complete absence of the watcher. Sustained conscious attention severs the link between the pain body and your thought processes and brings about the process of transmutation. It is as if the pain becomes fuel for the flame of your consciousness, which then burns more brightly as a result. This is the esoteric meaning of the ancient art of alchemy, the transmutation of base metal into gold, of suffering into consciousness. The split within is healed, and you become whole again. Your responsibility then is not to create further pain. Let me summarize the process. Focus attention on the feeling inside you. Know that it is the pain body. Accept that it is there. Don't think about it. Don't let the feeling turn into thinking. Don't judge or analyze. Don't make an identity for yourself out of it. Stay present and continue to be the observer of what is happening inside you. Become aware not only of the emotional pain, but also of the one who observes, the silent watcher. This is the power of the now, the power of your own conscious presence. Then see what happens. For many women, the pain body awakens particularly at the time preceding the menstrual flow. I will talk about this and the reason for it in more detail later. Right now, let me just say this. If you are able to stay alert and present at that time and watch whatever you feel within, rather than be taken over by it, it affords an opportunity for the most powerful spiritual practice, and a rapid transmutation of all past pain becomes possible. The process that I have just described is profoundly powerful yet simple. It could be taught to a child, and hopefully one day it will be one of the first things children learn in school. Once you have understood the basic principle of being present as the watcher of what happens inside you, and you understand it by experiencing it, you have at your disposal the most potent transformational tool. This is not to deny that you may encounter intense inner resistance to disidentifying from your pain. This will be the case particularly if you have lived closely identified with your emotional pain body for most of your life, and the whole or large part of your sense of self is invested in it. What this means is that you have made an unhappy self out of your pain body and believe that this mind-made fiction is who you are. In that case, unconscious fear of losing your identity will create strong resistance to any disidentification. In other words, you would rather be in pain, be the pain body, than take a leap into the unknown and risk losing the familiar, unhappy self. If this applies to you, observe the resistance within yourself. Observe the attachment to your pain. Be very alert. Observe the peculiar pleasure you derive from being unhappy. Observe the compulsion to talk or think about it. The resistance will cease if you make it conscious. You can then take your attention into the pain body, stay present as the witness, and so initiate its transmutation. Only you can do this. Nobody can do it for you. But if you are fortunate enough to find someone who is intensely conscious, if you can be with them and join them in the state of presence, that can be helpful and will accelerate things. In this way, your own light will quickly grow stronger. When a log that has only just started to burn is placed next to one that is burning fiercely, and after a while they are separated again, the first log will be burning with much greater intensity. After all, it is the same fire. To be such a fire is one of the functions of a spiritual teacher. Some therapists may also be able to fulfill that function, provided that they have gone beyond the level of mind and can create and sustain a state of intense conscious presence while they are working with you.
You mentioned fear as being part of our basic underlying emotional pain. How does fear arise? And why is there so much of it in people's lives? And isn't a certain amount of fear just healthy self-protection? If I didn't have a fear of fire, I might put my hand in it and get burned.
The reason why you don't put your hand in the fire is not because of fear, it's because you know that you'll get burned. You don't need fear to avoid unnecessary danger, just a minimum of intelligence and common sense. For such practical matters, it is useful to apply the lessons learned in the past. Now, if someone threatened you with fire or with physical violence, you might experience something like fear. This is an instinctive shrinking back from danger, but not the psychological condition of fear that we are talking about here. The psychological condition of fear is divorced from any concrete and true immediate danger. It comes in many forms: unease, worry, anxiety, nervousness, tension, dread, phobia, and so on. This kind of psychological fear is always of something that might happen, not of something that is happening now. You are in the here and now, while your mind is in the future. This creates an anxiety gap. And if you are identified with your mind and have lost touch with the power and simplicity of the now, that anxiety gap will be your constant companion. You can always cope with the present moment, but you cannot cope with something that is only a mind projection. You cannot cope with the future. Moreover, as long as you are identified with your mind, the ego runs your life, as I pointed out earlier. Because of its phantom nature, and despite elaborate defense mechanisms, the ego is very vulnerable and insecure, and it sees itself as constantly under threat. This, by the way, is the case even if the ego is outwardly very confident. Now remember that an emotion is the body's reaction to your mind. What message is the body receiving continuously from the ego, the false mind-made self? Danger. I'm under threat. And what is the emotion generated by this continuous message? Fear, of course. Fear seems to have many causes. Fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of being hurt, and so on. But ultimately, all fear is the ego's fear of death, of annihilation. To the ego, death is always just around the corner. In this mind-identified state,
let's live in the fullness of who we are. Search for that inner vibe and let your spirit thrive. You don't know. It's up to Scratch Production. Rigging up Scratch Professor. This is Flow It Lara. Yeah. Complaining about all the strife.
people, this is conscious, in others, unconscious. If it is conscious, it manifests as the unsettling and constant feeling of not being worthy or good enough. If it is unconscious, it will only be felt indirectly as an intense craving,
Yes.
wanting and needing.
Continuing the
In
reasoning
either case, people will often
on the
enter
Jam
into a
Master Show.
compulsive pursuit of ego
Some
gratification
serious reasoning that take
to
place.
identify with, in order to fill this hole they feel within.
So I want to give thanks for those who listening and the contributions still. Give thanks to Sister, I'm going to call her Sister Sharon,
Feel better about themselves, feel more complete.
to the
But
Jam
even when
Master
they
Show.
attain all these things, they soon find that the hole is still there.
And also I'm going to let people know that on the 10th, the 17th and the 24th we'll be hosting a series of events at HCVS. That's at in Hackney on Dalston Lane, Hackney Community Voluntary Sector. Series of health seminars focused around prostate cancer, diabetes, bowel cancer, truth about cancer. So we're going to be focusing over the next 3 weeks. Time is from 1 to 5. That's during the daytime. We were talking about cancer and diabetes.
Physical appearance, special abilities, relationships, personal and family history, belief systems, and often also political, nationalistic, racial, religious, and other collective identifications.
Up to scratch production.
None of these.
Bringing up scratch professor. This is Flow It Laura. Yeah. Been on a roller coaster ride, up and down, round and round, and I'm complaining about all the strife. Oh, what a hard life, but it seems I'm making it worse for myself. So many ideas, but they're drifting.
Also, I want to let people know that the Miracle Man will be at the Laurel this Saturday, time from 10 to about 4. So if people want to book in, please let us know. Let me know. I will give out his number as well. But the number, you can ring me on my number. So number 0788240381. I will give out the Miracle number in a second as well.
I can feel it pulling me in. See, a gift is for a reason, and pain is only for a season. Every second, minute, hour counts. You better wake up, let yourself out. Yeah, fighting the same old same, and I'm still here. Playing the same old game, and I'm still here. Crying the same old pain, and I'm still here. Lord, won't you take away back up. So rise up, family. Let's choose to live in victory, to step out into our destinies and fulfill our potential.
Yes, the Miracle Man number is 07890575597. I repeat, 07890575597. So if you want a treatment, any treatment, your back, your neck, your shoulder, your hip, that's the Miracle Man. So you need to book for appointment. So the number is 07890575597. So you'll be coming down from Birmingham, sorry, not from Birmingham, from Wolverhampton this Saturday. So you need to book in advance, so he can at least know what time to slot you in. So we're looking to be down this side from about 10 o'clock to about 5 the latest. See? So number again is 07890575597. You know, the Miracle Man is a very serious man. He's known all over the world, especially in Spain. You know, especially in Spain, in Cyprus, a lot of the European country. You know, his name's out there in America as well. Some part of the Caribbean. So he's a well-known individual. So, okay. So listen to Lara, as you know, very serious sister, serious artist. So just playing just a little flavor of floating Lara.
Don't wanna hustle no more, this lifestyle's real raw, don't
sit and we bun blaze, about to take off like we sat on the runway. When Monday soon come, Koch time's done. Support some more wine and roll another one. I'll come back down to earth if you're back from church. Just kick off the shoes and relax the shirt. Top button undone, perched on the sofa. Pull your wifey or your girlfriend closer and show love to the oven glove wearers, Sunday roasters and mother type carers, the dinner plate sharers, the school uniform preparers as the week draws nearer.
It's a Sunday afternoon, we chillin', taking time to wrap up from the weekend. Another week soon begins. I'm in control, whatever it brings. It's a Sunday afternoon, we chillin', taking time to wrap up from the weekend. Another week soon begins. I'm in control, whatever it brings. It's Sunday evening, the house still smelling of dumpling we fried this morning. Burn and incense, reflect and make sense of the past week's events. Say a prayer, open the windows, let the house air out. I give thanks to my full belly of saltfish and ackee. By reading the Psalms, I meditate so I feel calm. Music's pumping, finished all the washing up, now it's my time. Sip a little juice and unwind. The Sunday with a double meaning, the beginning and the end. Invite the family round or maybe go check a friend. See, a Sunday's a blessing on which I depend. Yes, a Sunday's a blessing on which I depend. It's a Sunday afternoon, we chillin', taking time to wrap up from the weekend. Another week soon begins. I'm in control, whatever it brings. It's a Sunday afternoon, we chillin', taking time to wrap up from the weekend. Another week soon begins. I'm in control, whatever it brings. Yes, I feel content. Just finishing this tune now for you on a Sunday evening with beats by Bishop, vocals by Lean and Floetic Lara. Hoping you're enjoying your Sunday too, eating that last bit of chicken or two. Sunday evening. Sunday evening. This one here's going out to all the beautiful chocolate skin brothers around. 'Cause you see, my love, baby, is always true. From me to you, yeah. Oh, oh. So what I wanna do, baby, simply love you, baby. My love is always true. So what I wanna do, baby, is simply love you, baby. My love is always true. See, what I wanna do, baby, is simply love you, hold you closely, skin to skin, yet without even touching. Make serious, unrelenting love to you. See, I'm imagining rich Nubian skin just dripping with salty droplets of water. And though I ought to, I can't stop the thoughts of me bearing your daughter. See, I wanna be like your soil, nurtured till it's fertile so you can plant your seed in me. Feed me with your words, soaked in love, coated in wisdom and glazed with a gift of gentleness. For you, you shall reap only what you sow, and if together we help them grow, the harvest can only be beautiful. See, I wanna kiss you sweetly. Mark my words, though I'm talking discreetly. I wanna love you like you want me to. Kiss and cuddle you like only mama could do. I wanna be your resting place and the sweetest thing that you'll ever taste. I want you to confide in me like no other, whether sister or brother. For my soul I share with you, my lover. You my, oh yes, you my lover. See, I want you to release tears fearlessly and draw ever nearer to me. I want to taste the rich richness of your skin and sink my fingers into the deepness of your very being. Swim through your veins and keep your heart beating. Drop my jaw in awe, cause you're amazing. See, I wanna swim through the oceans of your memories and run through the forest of your thoughts. Climb down to your retina so I can watch the world through your eyes. See, I want you to breathe easy, for I will love you truly. Just the way you are, baby. Just the way you are, baby. See, what I wanna do. What I wanna do, baby, is simply love you, baby. My love is always true. So what I wanna do, baby, is simply love you, baby. My love is always true. See, I wanna cook you dishes from all over the world. Whether a goosey soup with pounded yam or your favorite Italian. Be it boiled dumplings with green banana or ackee and saltfish with fresh coconut water. Cha! See, you can be my oyster and I your shining pearl. You'll shelter me with consideration, keep me warm with good conversation, and I'll dance joyfully for you in a sea of cool blue. Ride waves of misty purple till we rest together on golden shores of sand. See, baby, I'm like damn. Baby, I'm like damn. I wanna read you bedtime stories, watch in admiration and say to God be the glory. Savor precious moments in silence before smothering myself in the intensity of your chocolate. Hot like the injustice to my people, but our journey will be entirely pleasurable. See, I wanna reminisce about our first kiss and then experience the same passion and bliss each time our lips meet. Explore your body intentively, and with my tongue seek out every groove that could put you in the mood. Every spot that will get you hot, every place that will set the pace, every touch that will make you shiver, body quiver, breathe heavier. See, I wanna spend days and nights together like I don't even wanna work, I'm ready to retire. I wanna send you only ever higher, be the log in your fire, the spark in your lighter, the smile in your laughter, the water in your ocean, the melanin in your skin, the breath in your lungs, the blessed words on your tongue, the reality of your fantasy, the wife in your life, the backbone of your home. Man, I wanna be like your millennium dome. Yo, you don't need to spend money on making me pretty, and I won't be shut down. I'll cost you more than building 10 new towns. I just wanna roll around, baby. I wanna roll around in the park with you. Feel the sun feeding my skin, vital vitamins just as you do. Dance with the wind around the trees joyfully. Tickle you playfully, see king. All I wanna do is make you happy. Be the only one running my hands through your natty. Bathe your skin so you never feel dirty. Remain a lady yet still get freaky. Yo, believe me. You see, the energy we'll share could turn a crazy man sane. Heal a widow's pain. Give life back to the slain. Make a player wanna rethink his game. See, my love could put the world back together. Keep the sun shining no matter the weather. Clear the third world deck, yo, safe to bet. With my love, baby, there'll be no regrets. Cause my love is extremely powerful. You see, it's unconditional. Said it's got to be real for when you and me unite. So will our family. Said we can help rebuild the Lord's African community. You told me once there's a thin line between what you wanna do and what you're gonna do. What I'm gonna do is gonna prove, baby, there ain't no line between the two. Cause 1 + 1 equals me and you, yes. 1 + 1 equals me and you, and my love, baby, my baby is always true. My love for you, for what we do, baby, yeah, yeah, yeah.
talk to Dave Murphy now. Dave is in the studio with me. Why am I talking to him? Well, he's improved his health, and apparently that of many others who have followed his lead through a rather unusual manner, by drinking his own urine. Dave Murphy says urine therapy has transformed his health, helped him lose weight, and even got rid of his asthma, and helps him maintain his youthful looks. Well, you do look very young, I suppose. I don't know how old you are, but
Thank you.
How old are you?
54.
54.
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon to you, and thank
Hello.
you so much for coming. Where do you even start with this?
When do you start? Well, I started because I went to a festival and somebody was talking about it. And I walked in with my friends with our arms folded, like, tell us about drinking your wee lady. And she gave this talk that made us walk out going, we're going to have to try this. And all of us tried it the next day. And 6 years later, to my knowledge, all 5 of us are still doing it to this day.
What? I can't imagine the kind of speech somebody might have to give that would encourage me to do that.
Give me 15 minutes with you and you'll be doing it tomorrow.
No, you can't. I give 15 minutes with me, you'd be climbing the walls. But I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be cider, yeah. I'd be drinking brandy, yeah. What? So did you have any reservation about it?
Well, when I first started, I was as squeamish as anybody else would be. Yeah. I saw the health benefits from the talk. Yeah. I understood how it worked, and
how my body, which is a finely tuned thing,
mm-hmm.
has developed a way of surviving. And what it does is I put food in, and it gets rid of waste. Part of that waste is urine. How is it that putting that back into my body is a good thing?
Because that's an erroneous interpretation. What happens is your blood goes to your liver.
Doug? Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah, loud and clearly.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, then we've got Brother Hesketh on the line. I know that this event was taking place tomorrow. Hesketh, let people know about the event, because I know it's at the Sixth Form Centre, but I don't know where it is really. So let people know about the event. What's the event about? Please, Hesketh.
The event is about Bring Back the Love. That's the title of the event, and it was formulated by Back Production, and the production team has been going for many years, over 20 years in regard to what they've been doing in the community in terms of shows. And the whole idea is that in regards to the gun and knife crime that we've got on the streets of London now, we were really looking to, after these guys actually show their production in the play, is to then open it up to a question and answer session, which is going to be videoed and notes are going to be taken to try and get some solutions.
So hold on. So there's going to be it's going to like a play, and then maybe
after they show the production, the play itself.
Okay, then yeah.
It's only going to be 5 or 10 minutes to sort of warm the imagination up in regards to, obviously we hear about the gun and knife crime, but sometimes when you actually see it actually acted out, it brings the realism to place. So we're hoping for the production to be acted out. 2 sketches in regards to, the theme that I mentioned, the gun and knife crime, and then hopefully each set we will actually pause and we've got a panel of the likes of 4 experts. One obviously is a safety officer in Haringey. The other actually deals with a lot of youth issues, and the other deals with the likes of the criminality within the area. So they're going to be on the panel, and it's going to be me to pull out to get the audience to have a participation in regards to quizzing themselves, quizzing about the play, to really try and see if there were, some solutions can come forward. So tomorrow's going to be a really big day in regards to, the audience of Tottenham and maybe further afield. We're hoping to fill out the auditorium. But the most important thing is it's going to be on the lines of getting some answers regarding people that, you know, that are actually working in the field and knowing what could be actually put forward to the politicians, the councillors, and even the government once we film this. Because we're going to try and get a report about it, so then we can actually go back. We can go back to these people and sort of say what it's, you know, what it's all about and what's needed to actually transform our community.
Okay then. So whereabouts is this place here? 'Cause I'm trying to. I don't know.
They picked a good venue. It's at the Haringey Sixth Form Centre.
Where is that? Where is it?
That's basically off White Hart Lane. It's off White Hart Lane, towards the back.
When you say White Hart Lane, you have to be careful with whereabouts on
White Hart Lane goes right the way from the Wood Green end to the Tottenham end. We're looking at going towards the Tottenham end. If you're on transport, you know, obviously you can Google the Sixth Form Centre or the Sixth Form College, and that'll come. There's an overground near White Hart Lane, near the overground, White Hart Lane overground.
So, alright, so it's near the high road, yeah?
Yes, the high road.
Near the high road, and so for example, if I'm coming onto White Hart Lane from the high road, it's on the right. I imagine it'd be on the right hand side, yeah.
Right hand side, exactly. And then it's right hand side is Pretoria Road, and then I think that road's still called White Hart Lane, but it actually curves round. And there's a small estate there.
So you go down Victoria. You gonna visit Victoria Road? Victoria Road?
Pretoria Road. No, you don't go down Pretoria Road.
Oh, you pass Pretoria Road.
Yeah, past Pretoria Road, and it's the next right.
And it's the next right, yeah.
Next right, and then you'll see. Once you start walking down that road, you'll see the Sixth Form Centre eyesight to you.
Right. Okay then. And what time it starts?
Well, we'd like people to get there for 6 o'clock to a little bit of networking with various people in the community. With the show starting sharp at 6:30. We expect young people, right across the board, young people and families and parents to get their way down there.
So it starts at 6:30, yeah?
6:30. The actual play would actually start and the question time. Obviously, with most things, you know, you give a little bit of leeway on time. People to sit down and get their chairs that they're going to be sitting in between 6 and 6:30, with the show starting sharp at 6:30.
So tell me something. On the panel, who you have on the panel again? Just to.
On the panel, we've got. I'm going to try and pull it up right now. 1 minute. They're quite notable people. We've got the likes of Here we go. Put it up here. We've got Leroy Logan.
Leroy Logan, yeah.
A very, very high and senior commander within the police force, and he'll issue regarding, you know, the likes of gun and knife crime. We've got Davis Williams from Manhood Academy, running a project about young men and in regards to the way forward that young men should be moving within the inner city.
Right.
Davis Williams. Pauline Campbell, she's a senior lawyer.
Okay then.
And doing local cases within Haringey, I believe.
Okay.
And Egbert Malcolm, head of Haringey Community Safety Enforcement. So he will be guiding us in regards to, you know, safety issues around the gun and knife crime. So, you know, that panel, obviously they will give intros for themselves, and it's down to the audience, once they've given a brief, to be able to quiz them and to run, and, you know, with the input of the play, to be able to open up regarding the question and answer session.
Okay then. And the time is from 6 to 9, yeah?
Yeah, 6 to 9. 6
to 9. Okay then. Is that the sixth form? Okay, fantastic. So if okay then, that's good. That's good.
So I'm hoping the meeting is well received by the community, and basically that it's very positive, because obviously we hope to do a report from that, and obviously we're going to be filming it. So once we provide some footage in regards to the audience participation, that will go forward to you know, the likes of people that would like to see a positive change within Tottenham and across the board within the likes of other boroughs. This gun and knife crime, which we've had, you know, between now and January, we've had over 80 young people dead.
Right. Okay then.
So this is one of the, you know, they've done other sort of things around this, but as far as I know, this is one of the best ones that they've actually used to get these people all together on the same platform, and then the style of them doing it with the play, the production, and then after to get great audience participation.
Okay then, fantastic. Okay then, so again it starts at 6. It's at the sixth form centre.
Sixth form centre,
yeah. And we focus around the gun and knife activity. So we're encouraging people to get there by 6, and at first probably 20 people will be networking, but we will start 6:30 sharp. Yeah.
Yes.
6:30 sharp. Okay.
So if anyone wanted to Google it, I've got the postcode.
Yeah.
Sixth form centre, N17 8HR, and that will give them the exact location.
Right.
Sixth form centre, N17 8HR.
Okay then, fantastic. Eskif, thanks for coming out here. Be just to give some information. Really do appreciate that. Yeah.
No problem. I feel very grateful. Blessed Radio, you know, they're the ears of the community, and hopefully they're doing great things to make sure that information is going out. And as normal, Dougie, you're doing a great job doing that. So I applaud you and your team in regards to, you know, information is power.
All right then. Give thanks again, Eskif.
All right.
Okay then. Give thanks. So yes. So again, I want to big up to Eskif. I know he's a powerful community champion. He's got so much medals and trophies. Don't forget, the man used to play basketball for England. You know, he's a big captain, in fact. You know, so yeah. Okay, I think Sarah's trying to phone in as well.
In one word is urine therapy, or 2 words, whatever. Yeah, it's your own urine, and you probably already heard about this and had some suspicious or I don't know, your own mental conditioning from, I know that because that was also my first reaction when I heard of it, and was like, what? It's something my body is getting rid of. Why should I put it back in? But I was open enough to, okay, at least read about it, at least get some information, some, you know, be open for any possibilities, because there are all possibilities out there. I believe in all possibilities. I believe that everything is possible. I believe in eternal youth. I believe in eternal in immortality of the body. I believe that we are made, this body vehicle that we are embodying, that we are using, with where our spirit is expressing itself in this three-dimensional world, is perfect. It's a perfect design. It's a free energy device as well. I believe we don't even need food to function and to be happy, to be have energy. I believe in all these possibilities, and of course your mental attitude, your belief system plays a big role in this. But even if you don't believe, this is effective. If you use the urine therapy, if you apply this therapy, this technology, this practice, which is an ancient practice, you will find scripts as old as 5,000 years. The Egypts have knew about this. The Egyptians, the Hindus, the ancient there are ancient Sanskrit scripts about this. And my own experience, I want to share my own experience with you. I am 40 years old, and I have seen myself rejuvenate. I have really witnessed my skin getting rid of wrinkles, getting rid of saggy flesh, getting rid of gray hair, having more hair, fuller hair, more beautiful complexion, and then truly, I mean, I don't look like I'm 40 years old, right? And it's an ongoing process. It's going on. It's improving because the more I see the results, the more I apply it, and the more it gets. The more results I see, the improvement continues, and it's really amazing. It's mind-blowing. It's not just because of my outer appearance, but how I feel internally when I use this, and also the knowledge that, wow, I have this power inside of me. It's coming from me. It's my own body production. To me, it's like a reconfirmation that the divinity lies in me.
Yes, don't forget tomorrow for 6 at the Sixth Form Centre. That's at White Hart Lane. That's at the High Road end. So you come to White Hart Lane, you'll come to it. They'll be talking about the gun and knife crime, and have a very interesting panel. There'll be performance. Just capture the imagination first. It'll be filmed, see, and there'll be a discussion. Talking about the whole thing about the gun and knife crime, and be focused around solutions. So again, you're locked into the Jam Master Show, the show after the show. Yeah, no, I got foolish. You can hear. So you couldn't hear? You couldn't hear me? Yo.
We got a starlight. I can feel your presence. I got a starlight. Oh, he got a starlight. Oh, she got a starlight. Oh, I got a starlight. Oh, we got a starlight. Oh, starlight. Oh, she got the starlight. Oh, we got a starlight. Means no captivity. Showing off its unique beauty, defining the blood that runs through this body. Yeah, strongest gene, Jamaican, black African, with a touch of Chinese, Irish, Australian, and all of that. You see, my flow should let you know I'm not afraid of myself. I I will delve on the shelf of self, but not pity, cause yo, I love me. In all of my big exotic mango light, gotta look twice, thrice sexy, magnificent, glorious, pathetic, can't touch it. Beautiful, divine, gifted, affectionate, yet humble me. This is my story. This is my journey. This is my soul. See, from day one I've walked with my head held high. When I was young, people used to say I try. Why like I'm too nice? But I'm a princess and I knew this. It used to get me into bare situations. I had few friends who'd been different them days. Definitely wasn't the latest trend. But me, I'd always defend my corner and stand my ground. And I found in primary, if one person got infected with hatred, the disease soon spread. Come like sheep, so easily led. No mind of their own, can't tell fresh from Fred. Till to me, they were nothing but the walking dead. See, I remember when playtime was chilling on school benches reading books. I never thought I'd be the one bunning books before drama lessons. See, mama never brought me up like that. But the fact is, you can't shield innocence from the powers of this world. The media's influence or the devil's shine and pearl. By 16, my past started to be rearranged. Talking about the power of individual, people thought I was a bit deranged. But by 17, yo, I knew there'd been a definite change. I let my afro grow, and by 18, I knew a lot more than I used to know. Now listen carefully in pictures I flow. Let me take you on a journey through the stages I grow. From innocence to ignorant influence. Over mountain tops and through deep valleys I march purposefully. Turn fights in backstreet alleys to peer support work. Still told them stuff, you conform with these stupid jerks. See, I ain't gonna have it and become another statistic. So from supposed gang leader to UK youth ambassador. From dyslexia to inscribed inspirational italics on paper magnets distributed nationwide. See, there comes a time when you gotta move on, when you gotta grow. Yeah, you gotta grow strong. See, I'm trying to cut these addictions, but society tries to prolong. See, there comes a time when you gotta move on, when you gotta grow. Yeah, you gotta grow strong. The healing comes from spirits, and Lord, my spirit's got to be strong. Keeps my pride is for me, and the gratefulness it is to thee for thy love and mercy, and the thought of life for eternity keeps me determined to fight against these powers and principalities. And as for the demons roaming around me ready to pounce, I ain't looking to give them an ounce of opportunity. See, morality, my morality stems from the word of God. Values, truths, affirmations, confirmations and prophecies. Yo, they live with the spirit inside of me. Flowing Laura's energy defined by her spirituality. The blood of Christ that flowed for me, that flowed for me. This is my story. This is my journey. This is my soul. This is my story. This
Okay, then we have Auntie Jean inside the house, and she'll be talking about the African market was going to take place next week. It's next week Sunday, yeah?
Next week Sunday, yes.
Next week Sunday.
And it's oops.
And
is that me?
We've got some slight interference.
A little bit too high, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next week Sunday, the 19th of August. And it's at Clapham North this time. So the address is 128 Willington Road, Clapham North, Southwest 99ND. And that's between 1 o'clock and 9 o'clock. It's still whistling. It's between 1 o'clock and 9 o'clock. And we'll have on the showcase platform, we have our host, which is Nat 9 Stella B. And also, is it that needs to turn down a bit?
Go on, James.
Nat 9 Stella B as the showcase platform host. We have our libation with Nana Chief Hamlak. And we've got the drumming lessons, which is free for children with Russ Prince. And also, yes, Russ Prince, sorry. We have an hour drumming lesson with Russ Prince. Also, we have Brother Mandingo. Brother Mandingo is going to be doing a tribute and a presentation about the Right Honourable Marcus Messiah Garvey. So come along down, because Mandingo is very widely researched and got so much knowledge about Marcus, and I think he's I think it's a relative his as well.
I think he's some cousin,
the auntie or something, because he's a third removed cousin or something like that.
It's definitely a family.
Yeah. So he actually knows the actual family, the direct line from the family, and as I said, he's family himself. So you know, he's got inside knowledge as well as outside knowledge. So come down and hear Brother Mandingo. You'll have to come early, because he's got the first position, so he'll be coming and speaking about just a little after 2 o'clock. So if you want to hear the knowledge and the information that Brother Mandingo has about Marcus Messiah Garvey, if you don't know anything about Marcus Messiah Garvey, come down and get a little bit of knowledge, get a little bit of information, and it's a start for you to do your own little research on the great man. Also, we have Brother Cecil Gutsmore. I like to call him the professor, because he's so widely known knowledge. I mean, he can tell you what country, history of it, this country, Barbados, Jamaica, and at a drop of a hat, you know, he's got the answers. He's been doing a succession of talks on Brother Kwame's show on Galaxy on a Monday morning, and his topics is vast. I tell you, really, really vast. And he's also got a lot of knowledge on Marcus Messiah Garvey. And I also saying he's got 3 drums to sell. So if you like a drum, he's got 3 drums that he's actually selling. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if he plays it, but he's got 3 drums to sell. You know, so I think the djembe drums he has.
Okay then.
So come on down if you like to purchase a drum off of the Professor Cecil Gutsmore. Yeah, you come on down with it. We got a brother also called Father Cass. Father Cass, he puts Marcus Garvey's speeches to spoken word and music, and he's been really, as I said, he's a Marcus Messiah Garvey fan through and through. So much so, as I said, he's put his speeches to music, and he did a performance at the Garvey Village fundraiser, which is the other Saturday, which was really, really good.
Okay, then, fantastic. So, Andre, it'd be wise to give you a little background about the market and how it started. So, you know, people might hear it for the very first time, and you not know, you know, you're well established, you know, what I mean, individual, north, south, and east, innit? It's the east.
Yes.
Yeah, east.
Yeah.
You know, so you know you just put your stamp in, growing from them territory there. You know what I mean?
And it's
So
funny.
yeah, let people know how you started your
Wow.
journey. Just a little brief
The
background.
journey. Oh, it didn't start off with me starting
I remember
or
you telling me.
thinking or
Yeah.
thinking of running a market. Not at all.
Throw you in it, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it's my husband Prince who he runs his stall, and he sells jelly coconuts and the sugar cane and the mangoes and the exotic fruits, and he's got an allotment and he sells his vegetables as well and also plants, because he's also a gardener.
He's a gardener as well.
He's
yeah?
a gardener as well
Okay.
as an ex-dancer, as
Yeah.
well as he's built his own house and all of that. So I used to follow him to the market because there was an African market run by three sisters earlier on, and they run a market, and I used to follow Prince when he had his stall, even though I didn't really help him, to sell the things. I was going around buying stuff from everybody else. So I started to make my own products, and then somebody says, well, why don't you sell your products as well? So I started to sell the natural products that I sold, what I'd made, first of all to family, and then they said that you should sell it out, and then I got a stall when I did dehydrated fruit, because I got a dehydrator, and then I started to dehydrate fruits, and I used to sort of like have those in little packets and sell those out, and people says, well, why don't you add that to your stall? So I added the dehydrated fruits and the skincare products, the natural skincare products that I make, and started to sell those. So I was having a stall alongside Prince to add different events, and we went to the African film festival that was run by Sister Vashti and Conga Dread.
Okay.
And they run it every year. They show sort of like African films at the they call it, oh god, what's the name of the place? What they call it? It's a bit like Hollywood, but this is
Where's that? Where do they keep that?
in Peckham.
Oh, in Peck. I think I've been down there.
Yeah. It's
think
like
I've
they
been-
have a couple of floors. There's about 3 floors that they
No, I
actually
haven't been.
use.
Is that 3, 4? No, I don't think I've been there. I've heard about it, but I don't think I've been there.
Yeah.
Don't think I've been
The
there.
African Film Festival.
Yeah, I've heard about it. Yeah.
And yes, so there was a sister who runs a community centre, and she was literally touting for stall holders. So she came and she actually said to every stall holder, she's got an event, Black History Month is coming up, so there's a free stall, so come and set up, because she was looking for stall holders. So when the time came, only 3 of us turned up. It was myself, Prince, and another stall holder. The other stall holder packed up and left before the event actually started. We stayed, and throughout the 4 weeks of the Black History Month, I basically stuck it through until the last week, and then I came with my minibus and with all my stuff in it, and I came in. I brought my mother with me at the time as well, and I sat down and I thought, do I need to take all of this stuff out? Because every week I've been bringing my stuff, people just coming to look and just going away. So, and then something kicked me and says, well, don't be silly, you've bought everything's out there, you're here, so you might as well just set up and do. So
Do your thing,
and that's what I did. And then a friend of mine, she's a ex DJ from Galaxy, came to me and she says, why don't you run a African culture why don't you run an African market? So I said, what do I know about running an African market? I don't know anything about running. I know about running a stall, and I only just know about that, So she was on me. I'm telling this story to people she was on me for about half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I said to her, thank you, for persuading me, she goes, something, it took me over an hour to persuade you. And she goes, I had an appointment to see somebody else and I missed the appointment because I had it in my head that you've got to run an African market. So when she finally persuaded me, and I went over to the sister and I says, well, what do you think about me running an African market here? And then she says, you know something, I've been waiting for you to ask me that. And I said, what? And she says, yes. And she goes, I'll sort you out a date. I think she sorted me out a date, I think the following week, and the date was set for the 14th of December that year, which is 2014. And I sort of like, yay, kind of thing, because it's not something that I really sort of like was actually going for. You know, it's something that sort of like kind of put on me. Then it was sort of like, well, what am I going to do? I need stall holders, I need this, I need that, and you know, and I've got so many weeks to do it. So I was actually collecting stall holders' names at the time, because I was actually thinking of running a car boot sale.
Okay then.
So I was asking people, you know, would you mind, you know, having a stall at a car boot sale? And people were saying yes. So I was collecting all their information. So that was a base and a start that I had to start to contact the other stall holders, and all of them said yes. You know, they're quite glad, because it's in a community centre, it's inside and not outside. So you know, they all came on board, and that's how the African market started. It started as an African market, and then somebody says, well, you can't call it an African market, because like Sheila them had an African market. So I said, okay then. So the next time I had a flyer, it said culture market. And then somebody says, well, why did you drop the African? So I thought, you know something, the African culture, put the two of them together. So I put it as the African culture market. Was the second time the flyers came out. And then the third time the flyer came out, I stuck the Auntie Jean on it. So it's got the Auntie Jean's African culture market. So it's a gradual thing, just like how the market is a gradual thing, and it's actually grown. And believe it or not, Galactic Clyde was the first presenter. One of the first presenters that I, you know, who came and spoke on the very
So
first
when you first
market.
started, where did you start?
In Peckham, which was in Cossall Community Centre.
Don't know if I've been. I know
You've been there. I think you've been there about twice.
I've been there twice. Yeah. Oh, that's the first time.
Yeah, I think you came down when we had the three heavyweight kings. Was you there with Andrew Mohammed, Tony Warner, and Robin Walker? It wasn't that one. It wasn't that occasion.
No.
Because we've had we had two heavyweight kings. You know, the three heavyweight kings at Cossall down in Peckham.
No, I don't think I came down there when. I would remember, if definitely Andrew Mohammed. I would remember Andrew Mohammed. I think. I was there. I know I was there when Vasco. I've been there for a couple times when Vasco's been there.
Right, there was Vasco.
Yeah. And I was there when one time I think Leader Bandaka was there speaking.
Right.
And I was there with another the sister. I think about the same time when Leader Bandaka was there speaking as well. Talking about spirituality. I was quite impressed with her. I was very impressed with her. Talking about spirituality.
Was that Sister Rosanna? Was it Rosanna?
I can't remember.
And I think she was asking about if there's any twins in the audience, and she was talking about children that even though you may have had a miscarriage, or you may have had a termination of a pregnancy, she said that from the spirit world, some children or some babies are not meant to be of this world, but some of them come through just to pass through the world, but not to stay. And that's what some of these children are. Right. So
I can't remember. I just can't remember now. I don't think it was I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was Rosanna.
Yeah, but I was quite impressed with her. I was very impressed with her. And then I think you moved again in Peckham somewhere.
It's another spot in Peckham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too far from the station somewhere.
That's right. Just by the back of Peckham Rye.
Yes.
That was after we got locked out of the Cossall Community Centre.
Alright. So it's trials and tribulation.
Oh, tell us about it.
Trials and tribulation. Yeah.
We was the second year, and this was like 2016, January. I had lined up Dr. Les Henry. the brother with prostate cancer, Errol McKellar.
Oh, Errol McKellar. Okay.
Yeah, and also another doctor was lined up for that day, and I had to phone them up and say, well, you know, I don't think we're in a bit of dispute, and I don't think that the market's actually going to go on today. So I had to sort of like cancel them early. It was horrible.
It was horrible. Very
because what happened is that the sister who offered me the spot to have the market, and the brother, they actually ran it both together, got bogged down or weighed down by the committee of the other side, the Europeans, and basically they didn't really want anything African or black going on at the community centre, even though the community centre is actually, as to say, on a estate that which has 3/4 were African or Caribbean descent, but the handful wanted to rule it all, so they managed to get rid of the domino crew club. They started putting their claws into the youth club, and then they started to tell a whole load of lies about the market, that we're making noise and we're putting rubbish in different bins, and we're leaving litter and etc. all over the place. But as I said, it was all unfounded, and it was all lies. So they was just going. There was bogging both the managers down, so much so that they've had so much of it that they said they were stepping down, but they wanted it to be taken over by who the majority were. So Ricky went round and he knocked on every door, which is over 380 doors. Yeah, and he basically said that they've got an AGM coming up. They don't want people to sort of like come at the meeting, to either take over or to vote. And would you believe only 4 people turned up? So obviously the meeting got overwhelmed by the other side, and they took over. And the first month that they took over, they said to me, "Oh, some of us on the committee don't like the African culture market being there. Can you find somewhere else to go?" Yeah, simple as that. And I says,
Wow.
"Excuse me?" And they said, "Well, no, you have to find somewhere else to go, because we don't really like them. Some of us on the committee don't like it here." So the second month now, because I pick up the keys either the Thursday or the Friday, and then I drop the keys back off the Monday or the Tuesday. So I went to pick up the keys, and I was told, "Oh, we can't give the keys to anybody. So, when you want to get into the centre, give us a call and we'll let you in, and then give us a call when you finish, and we'll lock up for you." I've been there for 2 years, or nearly 2 years or 2.5 years, and they're saying that they can't give the keys to anybody. Third month now, I got told to sign a contract, and I says, "No, I'm not signing that contract. I've already got a contract that I'm quite happy with, and besides, I've already been here. So if you want me to sign a new contract, then you call me in, we sit down, we negotiate what can work and what can't work." But no, they wasn't having that. If I signed a contract, it would have been a detriment to the market, because they didn't want no selling on the premises. They didn't want nobody being charged to come in, even though it's only a £3 to help pay for the actual hall itself. They changed the actual sessional rate to £40 an hour. And also there was no advertising. They didn't want any advertising as well, so that means that no flyers, no going on the radio, nothing. So I said, honestly, and I says, "Well, I can't adhere to that." Right. And on top of that, they didn't want me to do any they wanted me to stick to the 1 to the 8. So my setup time and the cleanup time had to be within that time. Whereas it takes like 2 hours to set up, and it takes about an hour to clean up. So I sort of like this went backwards and forwards until one Friday after 6 o'clock I got an email stating, if you don't sign this contract, we're not going to open up for you on the Sunday. So I was going, these emails were going backwards and forwards, said that I'm still under the obligation of the other contract, and basically you'll be in breach if you don't. So anyway, we turned up on the Sunday and they didn't turn up.
And they didn't turn up?
No, they didn't turn up. So we was locked out, and it was
God.
a rainy day as well,
Oh
so
my
that didn't
God.
help either. Stall holders turned up, the customers turned up, but luckily enough, Ricky was a manager for the elder home that's sort of like next door.
Oh, right.
So,
So was able to go in there.
we was able to go in there and to talk and
Mhm.
to the sister Anua who had the food, she came in and she set up. So it kind of dampened it a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
It helped
yeah.
out a little bit, but that's the kind of story that we had for the Kossel.
Right,
you know.
right. Okay then. So we heard of Auntie Jean's journey, and you know that they said that your mess has become your message, right? I know that Auntie Jean is rising to the top. Okay then. So what's gonna take place now? We do have the great man Ras Dragon inside the house. Don't know what he's gonna bring to the table, but he's here saddling up, as they say. Ras Dragon is a seasoned DJ, I know he's a bad dancer as well, But anyway,
Dancer too.
yeah, man could
Yeah.
dance, man.
It's quite greetings.
So, Auntie Jean, I want to just give out your details of if we want more information.
Yes, if you want more information about the African Culture Market, which is going to be next week, Sunday, on the 19th of August, between 1 o'clock and 8 o'clock. No, 9 o'clock down at there. It will be 128 Willington Road, Clapham North, Southwest 99ND. There's very few stalls available left, so if you like a stall or more information, you can give me a call on 07961 886032. I shall repeat, 07961 886032. And I look forward to seeing you next week, Sunday.
Okay then, so give thanks.